Volume 1. Chapter 27. No, even I don't believe it myself. The female ghost stood there in a daze. She realized this analogy was completely impossible to refute him because he wasn't a normal person. He was a pervert who could get excited even by a terrifying evil spirit like her. Lin adjusted his monocle and shook his head. Madam, now we come to the point where I must have a proper chat with you. This is flesh of your own flesh. Even if she grew up somewhat unconventional looking, she's still your child. Moreover, Lin lifted the adorable baby in his arms, speaking earnestly. She's so incredibly cute. The female ghost glared at him furiously, her sharp claws making cracking sounds as she clenched them. Stop your nonsense. If she had been born normally, my child absolutely wouldn't have turned out like this. You must have done something to her. Lin waved his hand grandly, speaking seriously. Let's set that question aside for now. First, let me ask you, do you truly prefer your child to become a corrupted evil spirit, a twisted monster covered in tentacles? The female ghost paused. Seeing the change in expression on the ghost's face, Lin immediately seized this breakthrough. He gave her no time to react, speaking profoundly. Which do you think you'd prefer? A malicious being that attacks you on sight, or a sensible, adorable child who sweetly calls you mommy when she sees you? Lin flicked the petite beast ear of the adorable baby in his arms. Mommy, the baby immediately called out. The female ghost shuddered all over, a trace of confusion appearing in her malicious eyes. Soothing experience +1. Lin looked at her calmly and said, Moreover, if I'm not mistaken, deep in your heart, you actually yearn to have your child's pure appearance and inner nature, don't you? Hearing this, the female ghost became furious. Enough of your nonsense, I'll now, ding. Crisis level 81%. Ding, crisis level 91%. Lin flicked the little ear of the adorable baby in his arms. Yada the baby Arabiquow wagged her tail. Perk the female ghost trembled, the murderous intent that had just surged up immediately suppressed by that cute sound. Ding, crisis level -10%. Lin said seriously. Actually, you agree with what I'm saying in your heart, don't you? Bullshit. The female ghost's tentacles writhed wildly as she glared furiously at Lin. We'll discuss the bullshit matter later. Lin waved his hand grandly, his monocle reflecting intelligent light. You can't hide it from me, madam. Haven't you noticed? When you're in human form, your every movement is exceptionally confident, especially your eyes, they're filled with the charm of a mature woman. That kind of feeling can't be faked. Deep down, you actually want to truly possess such a perfect body and appearance, don't you? The female ghost trembled involuntarily. It was as if he had instantly pinpointed some shameful secret hidden deep in her heart. Her face immediately showed an expression of embarrassed anger. Don't get angry just yet. Lin extended his hand, his expression serious. This is human nature, nothing to be ashamed of. And don't you understand yet? This is the dark world. Human creatures are already extremely rare here. If you became so beautiful just to charm others, don't you think? Other than being able to charm me, your current appearance has no practical use at all. The female ghost stood there dumbfounded. Clearly, every word Lin spoke was like a sharp sword, directly piercing the softest places in her heart, because what Lin said was indeed true. Of course, both of your forms can charm me, but let's not dwell on that for now. Lin adjusted his monocle, speaking seriously. Madam, although you may indeed be an evil spirit, I believe that an evil spirit who pursues beautiful things cannot possibly be ugly and evil, and you're absolutely not the corrupted, evil monster you claim to be. Crisis level 41%. Crisis level 31%. Crisis level 20%. The female ghost stood there stunned, the wildly writhing tentacles all over her body gradually calming down, because no one had ever said such things to her before. No one had ever not believed she wasn't a corrupted evil spirit. For example, in my eyes, you're extremely beautiful, not just in appearance, but also the maternal radiance you emit from within, that charming light of the soul that makes you more human than I am. Lin said earnestly and seriously. Don't you understand yet? The evil spirit fragment you dropped actually hatched into such a sweet, adorable, cute baby. Doesn't this prove the truth, goodness, and beauty within your heart? Lin's voice suddenly rose on those last few words, as if filled with awe-inspiring power. Ding, crisis level reduced to 5%. Ding, Crisis level reduced to 0%. Ding, blood-robed evil spirits favorability toward you +10. The female ghost opened her mouth, standing there dumbfounded, momentarily feeling through his words that she seemed somewhat beautiful. Seeing that he had shaken this female ghost's psychology, Lin intensified his offensive, speaking seriously. Just like this child of yours, think about it. Why do other evil spirits all give birth to twisted, corrupted beings, yet only she possesses such a cute appearance, such pure eyes? Do you really think a mere human like me has the ability to transform what you call a corrupted evil spirit into such a lovely, beautiful person? No. Lin waved his hand grandly, shouting. Not even I believe that. Speech experience +1, deception skill +1, eloquence experience +1. The female ghost moved her lips, standing there stunned, unable to get a word in edgewise. Because what he said indeed made perfect sense. That. Lin suddenly turned his head, seriously adjusting his monocle, speaking in a deep, resonant baritone. So, cherish this, beautiful lady. This child is heaven's most precious gift to you. Such an adorable, cute baby, tell me, who in this world wouldn't truly love her? Lin flicked the petite beast ear of the adorable baby. Yada, the ghost baby Arabiquow. Silence fell all around. The female ghost stood there dumbfounded, instinctively extending a tentacle and giving 2 stiff, pattering claps. Actually, she didn't know why she was clapping. It just felt like the atmosphere called for it, making her unable to resist applauding. Lin cleared his throat and said seriously, "What do you think?" The female ghost shuddered all over, her gaze somewhat panicked as she tried to avoid something. Seems somewhat reasonable. Ding, congratulations on completing mission. Survive, you received reward. 500 skeleton coins, basic experience +200, special reward. Infectious aura zone. Ding, congratulations on completing mission, evil spirit mother. You received reward. 300 skeleton coins, basic experience +100, blood-robed evil spirit favorability +50. Ding, you obtained achievement. Impromptu orator. Impromptu orator achievement. During an impromptu speech, you successfully persuaded a high-level female creature who held malice toward you. You gained permanent bonuses. Persuasion success, rate +1%, permanent favorability from females +1 Chapter 28. Let me hug your kid. Lin secretly breathed a sigh of relief, the corner of his mouth twitching slightly. But he knew, although the mission was completed, now wasn't the time to complain about the system. That makes perfect sense, because everything I said was absolutely reasonable, Lin said seriously, sitting up straight. Squelch! The female ghost's split face slowly closed up, the sticky tentacles retracting back into her body as she regained her previous graceful, mature woman's appearance. She stared wide-eyed, hands clasped over her chest, looking at the adorable baby in Lin's arms. For a moment, she actually seemed somewhat anxious and uneasy. I mean, she avoided the baby's pure gaze, looking as awkward as a young woman who had just become a mother. Here, hold your own baby, Lin said with a serious expression. The female ghost shyly turned her head away, not daring to look at the baby, her 2 hands hesitantly reaching forward. Seeing this, Lin didn't hesitate, directly stuffing the adorable baby from his arms into the female ghost's embrace. Yada, the ghost baby Arabiquow, hugged the female ghost's neck, sticking out her little tongue and enthusiastically licking her cheeks, leaving trails of moisture on her face. The female ghost stood there stiffly in a daze, letting the daughter in her arms affectionately lick her. Obviously, she had never experienced such intimate treatment before, because all the ghost babies formed from fragments that had fallen from her body before were malicious creatures that would kill almost any living being they encountered. Even towards her, none of the evil spirits had truly treated her as a mother. How does it feel? Lin asked earnestly and seriously. Don't you also feel a sense of heartfelt joy and sweetness right away? The female ghost stood there stiffly holding the baby, saying, "Not quite used to it." Lin nodded, giving a thumbs up, and said seriously, "Normal. The first time being a proper mother often comes with a bit of bewilderment, just like feeling embarrassed during the first time making love, it's the same principle." After a long while, the female ghost finally shook her head vigorously, her face returning to its cold expression as she held the baby and said, "HMPH, you smooth-talking little brat, Don't think saying a few words can really change the fact that my child changed because of you. I'm living right next door now, and when I feel interested someday, I'll sneak in late at night and eat you." Yada, the adorable baby Arabiquow, gave another enthusiastic lick on the female ghost's cheek. The female ghost immediately went back to being dazed again. "Jay, just you wait." Lin maintained his smile, sweating profusely as he watched the enchanting woman carrying the ghost baby walk out of the shop door. After she left, Lin finally breathed a sigh of relief, collapsing into the chair. Lin muttered to himself, "This won't do. I need to quickly improve my combat abilities. If I encounter this kind of situation again in the future, I might not be as lucky as I was today." And that female ghost had already said it. She would come back for him. Although he managed to successfully eliminate her malice today, there was no guarantee that she wouldn't get a sudden whim and actually sneak in at night to deal with him on the spot. Just have to wait until tonight. Teacher should be back soon. Lin stabilized his emotions. Then he opened his system space and took out the special reward he had just obtained. Infectious aura. Quality, rare passive skill description. When engaging in persuasion activities, there's a high probability of increasing persuasion success rate against targets and reducing their malice. Attribute bonus. Permanently +1 to calming proficiency, it's actually a skill. Lin carefully read through the description. He roughly understood this skill's function, which meant, when he performed psychological counseling and similar operations on targets, it could increase his success rate. Regardless, it's still a pretty good support skill. Learn instantly. The skill book transformed into a stream of light and entered his body. His system panel immediately gained a new passive skill. Time slowly passed. Lin continued his daily monotonous shop duty. Knock, knock, knock. A series of knocking sounds came from outside the door. The drowsy Lin immediately perked up, instantly putting on his professional smile as he looked up and said, "Welcome." A chilling aura slowly drifted in from outside the door. Lin's eyes immediately fell upon a tall and burly figure. Dressed in fearsome black armor, with withered, bone-white cheeks and equally bone-white long hair flowing down his back, his eyes shimmering with crimson light. Behind him, he led a sinister nightmare steed covered in ominous black fur. Black Knight. Level, alignment, chaotic neutral combat ability, extremely powerful attack and defense. Description: a death knight who wanders the dark world, possessing immense fighting spirit, dedicated to challenging all powerful beings in the dark world, with an intense thirst for strength. Lin was startled. Obviously, this was another formidable character. And judging by his attire and description, he definitely fell into the elite boss category. Indeed, the demon hunter was right. Many incredible beings had indeed arrived near Wandering Souls Alley. "I need some sufficiently powerful combat support potions." The Black Knight spoke in a hoarse voice. He took out a blood-stained money pouch from his chest, and the clinking of coins could be heard inside. "Payment won't be short." Ding. You have triggered a mission. Prepare combat potions that satisfy the Black Knight's requirements. Mission reward: base EXP +200, skeleton coins +100, Black Knight's return rate +1. Finally, a properly normal customer. Lin immediately stood up, maintaining his smile as he said, "Please come in, guest. You've come to the right place. Throughout the entire Wandering Souls Alley, only our Bloodsaw Potion shop has the highest quality potions." The Black Knight said hoarsely, "Isn't yours the only potion shop within several hundred miles?" The Black Knight stepped through the doorway. The soul lamp instantly began dancing wildly. His full suit of armor emitted creaking metal friction sounds. An overwhelming aura pressed forward. Without a doubt, this was an incredibly powerful warrior. "Guest, may I ask what type of support potions you require?" Lin asked with a smile as he made introductions. He then took down various potions from the counter one by one, placing them on the table. "Our shop has all kinds of potions, with a wide variety that will definitely satisfy you." Lin pushed one of the potions on the table toward the Black Knight. "For example, this one. Strength potion can significantly increase your attack power. It's one of our shop's best sellers. You can give it a try." The Black Knight glanced at it. He picked up the potion bottle, sniffed it, then drank it in one gulp. Ding, crisis level 10%, completely useless. The Black Knight said hoarsely as he put down the empty bottle. The enhancement this potion provides to my combat ability is almost negligible. Are you mocking me? Lin immediately felt a powerful aura enveloping him, making his heart race under the pressure. Lin immediately realized the hidden danger in this mission, which meant, if this Black Knight didn't get potions that sufficiently satisfied him, he might resort to violence. Chapter 29. Perfectly Amplified Critical Strike Potion. Lin stared wide-eyed, without another word. He quickly opened the counter and pulled out the high-quality enhancement potion his teacher had meticulously researched from the cabinet's mouth. Please try this one, I guarantee you'll be satisfied this time. Lin said seriously. Top-grade Frenzy Potion can greatly enhance all-around abilities and cause the target to enter a frenzied state. He placed the blood-red potion bottle on the table. Without a doubt, this potion was absolutely the top-quality medicine their Bloodsaw Potion shop kept in reserve. The Black Knight reached out, grabbed the potion bottle, and drank it all in one gulp. Instantly. A red glow flashed across his body, and faint traces of blood red appeared in his eyes, clearly the potion taking effect. Ding! Crisis level 20%. Minimal effect. The Black Knight casually tossed away the empty bottle, saying hoarsely, "This kind of potion might work on weaker creatures, but for me, it's basically negligible." Lin stared wide-eyed, quickly pulling out another high-quality potion from under the counter, saying, "Then please try this one. Trash quality, crisis level 30%. How about this? For treating hemorrhoids, crisis level 40%. This one is absolutely the best. Expired, crisis level 60%. Several minutes later, Lin looked gravely at the collection of empty bottles on the counter, then at the clearly impatient Black Knight. Obviously, for a Black Knight of this level, the potions their shop sold simply couldn't meet his requirements. Crisis level 91%. Lin's heart grew somewhat anxious. This seemingly simple task actually carried no less danger than those he'd done before. It seems your shop can't provide any better potions. The Black Knight raised his head, cracking his neck with a clicking sound, saying hoarsely, "You're wasting my time." Ding! Crisis level 95%. Wait a moment. Seeing the crisis level about to max out, Lin reached out, adjusted his monocle, and said calmly, "Our shop has one more potion that I believe will absolutely meet your requirements, but I don't have it in stock. I need to brew it on the spot. You can wait for me for a while. I guarantee it's the best potion." The Black Knight said hoarsely. "Oh," Lin said calmly, "if this potion still doesn't satisfy you, you can chop me down right then and there." Ding! Crisis level reduced by 5%. The Black Knight's glowing eyes showed a flicker of interest as he said lightly, "Is that so? Fine, I'll give you half an hour to brew it. As you said, if it doesn't satisfy me, I'll chop you down." "Deal," Lin said seriously. Lin quickly rushed to the backyard, without another word. He directly pulled out the recipe rewarded by the system when he healed that origin-level monster from his system space. Critical Hit Potion. Quality: Special Materials. Origin-level Biological Tissue Zone, Explosive Fruit Pulp Zone, Hell Clover X4, Black Bat Wing Zone, etc. Description: a potion that can greatly increase critical hit rate, but comes with some negligible strange side effects. The reward for healing the origin monster. This was absolutely the best potion he could offer. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The potion recipe rewarded by the system should definitely be better than other potions in this world. Lin's expression was serious. He quickly rushed into the warehouse, gathering various brewing materials needed for the potion. Most of the materials had corresponding stock in his teacher's warehouse, and the most difficult to obtain origin-level biological tissue, he had that too. Last night when fixing that headhunter's teeth, he had collected plenty of tooth fragments and that monster's oral mucus. He had kept it all. Absolutely premium material. After preparing the materials, Lin quickly rushed to the alchemy lab in the backyard. Ready to start brewing, his alchemy level wasn't very high, but 2 years of learning from his teacher had greatly improved his skills. Start brewing. Ding. You ground medicinal powder, alchemy experience +1. Ding. You extracted explosive fruit pulp, alchemy experience +1. Ding. You purified slime mucus, alchemy experience +1. Bubble in front of the large vat, Lin stirred the thick, viscous mucus, continuously emitting strange bubbles with a stick. The fire burned fiercely. Lin wore a mask, his expression serious. First add black bat wings, then mandible wolf spider fangs. Ding, you added potion materials, alchemy experience +1. Boom, the large vat of potion instantly turned from white to purple, bubbling up with one skull-shaped bubble after another. Lin stood indifferently before the large vat, stirring continuously. The potion in the vat kept transforming through various colors, red, blue, black, purple, and more. Time flew by quickly. Soon, 20 minutes passed in the blink of an eye. Ding, you brewed critical hit potion zone, alchemy experience +10, accompanied by system notifications. Lin quickly poured the potion into empty bottles, placing them rapidly on the table counter with a series of taps. A full 10 critical hit potions, instantly giving him an additional 100 points of alchemy experience. Critical hit potion, for humanoid creatures only, can increase target's critical hit rate by 100%, but comes with some small side effects. Whether we can pass this hurdle depends on this potion's effectiveness. Lin's expression was serious. Main hall. Lin seriously pushed the black-red critical hit potion toward the Black Knight. He adjusted his monocle, saying solemnly, "Critical hit potion, our shop's newly launched high-quality potion. You're the first customer for this potion. Its effectiveness will be determined by your judgment." The Black Knight glanced at the plain-looking potion bottle. He played with it in his hand, saying lightly, "Are you sure this is the best potion you have here? Think carefully. If this potion still doesn't meet my required standards, I'll honor our earlier agreement and chop you down." Lin said calmly, "I absolutely guarantee your satisfaction." But truthfully, Lin's heart was drumming with uncertainty. After all, he didn't have a precise understanding of how effective this potion really was. But at this point, he really could only trust the system's quality. Click, the Black Knight opened the wooden stopper on the potion bottle. Instantly, a faint pungent odor wafted out, and the moment he smelled this scent, the Black Knight suddenly froze. Foul stench, clearly the smell was absolutely unpleasant. But surprisingly, just smelling this medicinal aroma made him feel a significant reaction in the power surging through his body. For someone who had been taking potions for years, this was a sensation he hadn't experienced in a long time. He became serious. Picking up the potion bottle, he opened his mouth and drank it all in one gulp. Almost instantly, he immediately felt an intensely bitter heat surge roaring through his body. This power? He trembled as he looked at his own arms, suddenly standing up. Chapter 30, I went bald, but I got stronger. I can feel it. He clearly felt the power roaring through his entire body. This potion was like a wild older woman dancing seductively and passionately inside him, making every blood vessel in his body swell. Roar! He threw his head back and roared triumphantly at the sky. His armor exploded open with a thunderous boom, hair flying everywhere as his pale, explosive muscles were revealed. He punched the air. Boom! The air directly exploded with a sonic boom. He was shocked by his own power. The feeling was like every attack could deliver a massive critical hit to his enemies. Incredibly savage. What an incredibly strong potion. He gasped sharply and said, "In all my years wandering through hell, I've never taken a potion that could boost my combat power this much. Too strong." Ding! Crisis level reduced to 0%. He suddenly turned his head, his gaze burning intensely as he stared at Lin and said, "What kind of potion is this? The effects are actually this explosive?" Lin smiled slightly, giving a thumbs up as he said, "Our shop's specialty. Critical hit potion? Critical hit potion." The Black Knight murmured the potion's name, his gaze gradually becoming fanatical. "Impressive. I never expected this godforsaken place would actually have such a high-intensity potion. With the help of this kind of potion, I should be able to completely crush that demon hunter now," he swore. This was absolutely the most explosively effective potion he had ever taken. This kind of solid, tangible boost to combat power was an unparalleled pursuit for a battle enthusiast like him. Lin's expression turned serious as he hesitated and said, "Customer, although this potion's effects are indeed explosive, out of a sense of responsibility, I still need to remind you, this potion actually produces some minor side effects. But exactly what kind of side effects they are still requires further observation." Lin ultimately decided to warn this Black Knight. "Side effects?" The Black Knight snapped back to reality, then curled his lips in a cold smile and said, "Heh, indeed. A potion that can instantly boost my combat power by nearly double would definitely come with some adverse reactions. But it doesn't matter. No matter how severe the adverse reactions, could they possibly be more terrifying than death?" The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. And just at that moment, a gust of wind blew whistling through the door. His incredibly sexy long hair instantly danced wildly in the wind. Then, it slipped smoothly away from his head and flew off in all directions. Lin's gaze instantly became completely hollow as he said, "Customer, it seems the side effects have already appeared." The Black Knight raised an eyebrow and said, "Oh." Lin widened his eyes and said, "How about you touch your head?" The Black Knight raised an eyebrow, subconsciously reached out his hand, and touched the bone-white, beautiful long hair on his head. Sleek, an extremely smooth sensation. The Black Knight's pupils instantly contracted. A massive sense of unease instantly surged within his heart. Could it be? He subconsciously looked toward the mirror nearby. Buzz, his gaze instantly went hollow. In the mirror, a gleaming, shiny bald head appeared brightly within his field of vision. Bald and round, completely bald, glaringly bald. Ding, a dazzling halo even flashed across that bald head. An eerie silence spread wantonly throughout the surroundings. "Where's my hair?" the Black Knight said numbly. Lin widened his eyes and said, "On the floor. This is the side effect you mentioned," the Black Knight murmured. Lin widened his eyes and said, "Seems like it." A brief silence. "I'll kill you." The Black Knight instantly grabbed Lin by the collar, furious and humiliated, his rage making his hair stand on end. Ding ding ding, the smooth, round, bald head flashed with halo after halo as he moved. Lin also panicked and said, "Didn't you say you weren't afraid of death, so why fear such a minor side effect?" The Black Knight glared furiously and said, "But you never said it would cause baldness?" Lin widened his eyes and said, "Although you did go bald, you also got stronger. This is just a small price to pay for power." The Black Knight gritted his teeth, released Lin's collar, and breathed heavily, huffing and puffing. His gaze flickered violently as an internal struggle raged within him. True. As a warrior pursuing great power, baldness really wasn't that hard to accept. Ding, and the potion's effects were truly astonishing. Nearly doubling his power after taking it was absolutely an excellent potion. Ding ding, and so what if he went bald? As a Black Knight, should I even care about such things? Ding ding ding, exactly. So what if I'm bald? Compared to real power, what does this matter? Ding 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 ding, but... He pointed furiously at the constantly ding ding dinging, shiny bald head in the mirror and roared, "I can handle being bald, but why does it have to flash too? A light bulb. Have you ever seen anyone's head keep dinging and flashing like this?" On his smooth, gleaming, shiny forehead, as if with some special effect. Every few seconds, a beam of bright light would flash past, extremely eye-catching. This was really something that could mess with your mental state. Lin wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and said calmly, "Customer, please calm down. This might also be one of the side effects. And it's just flashing. Adding some special effects only makes you more unique and distinctive, right?" The Black Knight continuously ground his teeth, clenched his fists with a cracking sound, his gaze flickering intensely. And correspondingly, on his gleaming, shiny forehead, a flash of light appeared every few seconds. "How much per bottle?" He ground his teeth. Lin immediately raised one finger and said seriously, 1,000 skeleton coins, absolutely worth the price. How many more of these potions do you have? Including the one you drank, 10 bottles total. I'll take them all." The Black Knight slammed the counter, his expression gloomy. Lin was stunned. "Aren't you very opposed to this potion's side effects?" The Black Knight instantly grabbed Lin's collar with a whoosh, glaring furiously as he roared, "After going this bald, would I still be afraid of going a little more bald? Package them up. If you dawdle any more, I'll kill you." A few minutes later. Ding, you completed the quest. You received quest rewards, 200 skeleton coins, base EXP plus 200, Black Knight head turn rate plus 1. Lin stood at the potion shop entrance, waving from afar at the Black Knight galloping away on his horse, shouting loudly, "Customer, welcome to visit again next time. If you need similar potions, next time I can give you a 1% discount." Within the black mist, the sound of hoofbeats gradually faded. but faintly visible, every second or two, a bright light would flash with a ding from deep within the black mist. Extremely eye-catching. Several dozen minutes later, in the dark, desolate, hellish wasteland, the demon hunter wearing a top hat slowly emerged from the darkness, the barrel of his gun slightly lifting the brim of his hat. The fierce wind whipped fiercely at his robe. "I've been waiting for you for a long time, Black Knight." The demon hunter's lips curled slightly as he said deeply, "I thought you had chickened out and run away, too scared to come face me." Chapter 31. My critical rate is maxed out. The Black Knight, who had traveled a great distance, leaped down from his warhorse. He drew a ferocious greatsword from his back, cold light flickering in the indifferent eyes beneath his helmet. Raising his sword hoarsely and gloomily, he pointed it at the demon hunter and said, "Enough talk. Today, either you die or I perish." The demon hunter laughed heartily, his face full of sarcasm as he mocked, "Ha ha ha ha, with just you. Decades ago you were no match for me, and it's no different now. You chased me all the way here just to die by my blade personally. If that's the case, then I'd be more than happy to oblige you." In an instant, he drew his demon-hunting longsword from his waist, flames instantly bursting into life along the blade. The howling wind whipped at his robe, his smile cruel and icy. Who will emerge victorious remains to be seen. The Black Knight's eyes flickered. Snap, his fingers moved slightly, popping open the wooden stopper of the potion in his hand. He downed the potion in one gulp, then violently smashed the empty bottle on the ground. "Come on!" He narrowed his eyes, adopting a combat stance. "Potion?" The demon hunter smiled faintly at the corner of his mouth, saying, "Useless, Black Knight. Even if you take more drugs, a gap is still a gap. You can't possibly be my match. However, I'm still very willing to give you this opportun." Ding! The demon hunter paused, instinctively looking up, his gaze falling on the other's helmet. Whether it was an illusion or not, he thought he saw something flash inside the helmet just now. It even seemed to come with some peculiar sound effect. Ding! Another flash. The demon hunter's expression turned suspicious as he narrowed his eyes. "It seems you've prepared some powerful hidden weapons to deal with me," the Black Knight said hoarsely. "You think I'm like you? Hell's Knights never stoop to using underhanded methods." Ding ding, Black Knight, demon hunter. Both of them clearly heard those two crisp ding sounds. The Black Knight clenched his fists with cracking sounds, eyes closed, the corners twitching madly. "What is it?" The demon hunter grew even more suspicious, saying, "Your helmet just lit up twice again." The Black Knight gritted his teeth, eyes closed. "You just need to know it's not any hidden weapon." Ding ding ding, Black Knight, demon hunter. A gentle breeze blew. "Arcane bomb?" The demon hunter grew more doubtful. "No," the Black Knight kept his eyes closed, fists cracking as veins bulged at his temples. "Sacred scroll?" The demon hunter found this guy increasingly suspicious. "No," the Black Knight gritted his teeth furiously. "Then what is it?" The demon hunter's curiosity was completely piqued. The howling wind blew against the Black Knight, who kept his eyes closed, the corners twitching wildly. Click, he finally tore off the helmet on his head, revealing the shiny, gleaming bald scalp beneath. Ding, that smooth, round, bald head emitted a fierce flash of light. Demon hunter. Holy shit, what a shiny head. The Black Knight looked down at his hands with violent intensity, muscles bulging all over his body with cracking sounds, gritting his teeth. "This is the small price I paid to defeat you." Ding, though I've gone bald, I've also become stronger. Ding ding, to use that human kid's words, my critical hit rate is already maxed out. Ding ding ding, he suddenly raised his greatsword, bald head shining, pointing fiercely at the demon hunter with a roar as dark power instantly enveloped his entire body like flames. In that instant, he charged toward the demon hunter like an enraged primordial beast. "And this time next year will be your death anniversary," he roared, leaping hundreds of meters, bringing his greatsword down on the demon hunter's position with mountain-crushing force. Demon hunter, 1 hour later, Wandering Souls Alley. Knock knock knock, knocking sounds came from the door once again. "Welcome." Lin immediately put on a professional smile, looking up toward the customer outside. But when he saw the figure at the door, Lin was momentarily stunned, because it was someone familiar. Witcher, Orkalos, severely injured. Race, human level, combat ability. Critically injured and near death, the demon hunter was clutching his bloodied chest. covered everywhere with tearing wounds, breathing heavily as he leaned against the doorframe, blood still dripping from his fingers. Holy crap, it's only been 1 day, how did you get so badly injured again? Lin looked astonished. Enough talk. The demon hunter gritted his teeth, pressing hard on his chest, saying, hurry up and treat me, the faster the better. I'll pay you double. Ding, you triggered a quest. Treat the Witcher's injuries, quest reward. Skeleton coins plus 200, basic EXP plus 300, Witcher favorability plus 20. Lin widened his eyes, immediately walking to the door to help the demon hunter inside to sit down. You're severely injured. The demon hunter painfully removed his hat, breathing heavily, his eyes showing traces of anger and frustration. Met a former defeated opponent. He was never my match before, but today he took some damn drug and suddenly became ridiculously fierce. Every damn strike was a critical hit. Fuck, he cursed angrily, fucking hell, chest heaving violently, venting his anger by punching the counter. Lin, if he hadn't run fast enough, he might really have been done in by that guy today. He painfully rubbed his bloodshot, dry eyes, especially that wildly flashing bald head. Every time he concentrated to launch an attack, that shiny bald scalp would flash fiercely at you, not only seriously disrupting your focus, but also blindingly, deathly bright. That bastard must have enchanted his scalp with some sacred attribute technique. That damn bald egg, fucking hell, must be because of that damn potion he took. If I find out who gave him that fucking potion, I'll chop them up and chew them to pieces. He slapped the counter angrily, but then gasped in pain as the movement aggravated his injuries. Lin, it couldn't be. Talking about me, could it? That Black Knight bought potions from me specifically to deal with this demon hunter uncle. Why do I suddenly feel dangerous again? Lin widened his eyes, saying, wait here a moment, I'll go to the backyard to get more effective recovery potions for you. Hurry up and go. The demon hunter was full of anger now, extremely irritable. Lin took a breath, quickly lifting the cloth curtain and heading to the backyard. But it seemed the demon hunter hadn't suspected him. After all, how could a small potion shop in this godforsaken place possibly have such powerful potions? Best that he hasn't found out, otherwise I'll have to make a quick escape. Main hall. The demon hunter sat at the counter, grimacing as he rubbed the bruises on his body. He casually picked up a few recovery potions Lin had left on the counter, gulping them down in one go, finally feeling somewhat better. He glanced around. But at that moment, his gaze was suddenly drawn to an empty bottle placed in the corner of the counter. Buzz instantly, his expression froze. This is... He reached out and picked up the empty bottle, his mind immediately recalling the potion bottle that damn bald egg had used during their fight an hour ago. Exactly the same. Chapter 32, Saving a Fortune on Lighting Costs. Could it be? His expression went blank. And in the very next moment, Lin strolled out from the backyard with a few bottles of high-grade healing potions, smiling pleasantly. Uncle, 200 skeleton coins a bottle. No surgery needed, take one and I guarantee you'll be full of vigor, hee. Bang, a bullet whizzed past Lin's ear. Lin. The demon hunter lunged forward and grabbed Lin by the collar, grinding his teeth as he snarled. You little brat, you were pretending to be so innocent just now. I really, truly never expected you were the one supplying that bald guy with potions. Lin looked utterly bewildered and said, what potions? I don't understand what you mean. The demon hunter instantly flew into a rage. Don't play dumb with me. I saw that bald guy take a bottle before he fought me, and the bottle was identical to the one on your counter. Lin cleared his throat. Seeing he'd been exposed, he gave up pretending and, curious, asked, the bald guy you mentioned, was he a Black Knight riding a warhorse? The demon hunter grabbed his collar even harder, eyes blazing. What do you think? Lin closed his eyes, utterly composed, a faint smile on his face, and said, I see. A few hours ago, that customer did come into my shop and bought a batch of potions for a huge sum, very wealthy. He actually contributed a whole W of sales for my little shop. He spoke earnestly and politely, completely acting like an uninvolved bystander. The demon hunter ground his teeth, his gaze flickering. What did you sell him? Seizing a sales opportunity, Lin immediately put on a professional smile. Our shop's newest product, a critical hit potion that greatly boosts your combat ability. high quality and affordable, and essential for killing and plundering. Trust me, you won't be able to buy this outside. Lin adjusted his monocle and looked serious. The demon hunter hissed, "You actually helped a creature of darkness go after your own kind." Lin decisively held up his hand and said earnestly, "Please don't jump to conclusions, uncle. First, I didn't know about your relationship. Second, he came here seeking powerful potions and spent lavishly. I had no reason to turn him away. Third," Lin closed his eyes and held up 3 fingers. "My shop serves all friendly customers. If he can buy this potion to go after you, then likewise, you can buy this potion from me to go after him." Lin stared at the demon hunter with sincere, moving eyes. "For the sake of kinship, I'll even give you a 20% discount." A brief silence. The demon hunter narrowed his eyes. "How many coins?" Lin earnestly held up 2 fingers. "Base price is 2,000 skeleton coins per bottle. But since you're an old customer of my kin, I'll give you 20% off, 16 coins per bottle. I'm practically selling at a loss." The demon hunter's gaze flickered. After thinking for a moment, he hesitated. "Or I could kill you right now and take your little shop. That's not impossible." Lin closed his eyes and shook his head. "Uncle, we're family of the same clan. At home you rely on your parents, outside you rely on your clan. Our bond is stronger than parents, it's in our blood. And besides, I even gave you 20% off," Lin said, almost mournfully. Goosebumps broke out all over the demon hunter. He realized that in just one day this kid's talent for being repulsive had improved dramatically. "Enough talk." The demon hunter ground his teeth and rubbed his temples. "Bring me as many bottles as that bald guy bought. I have the money." "All right." Lin's face lit up instantly. A dozen minutes later. "Ding, you completed the task. Treat the demon hunter's wounds. Reward received. Skeleton coins plus 200, base EXP plus 300, demon hunter favorability plus 20. It's finished." With the system notification, Lin smiled and placed the freshly made 10 bottles of critical hit potion on the counter. 10 bottles of potion total 16,000 coins, or 16 Black Skull coins, plus 6 ordinary healing potions for 300 coins and 2 special healing potions for 600 coins, for a total equivalent of 16,900 coins. I'll round it up for you. 17,000 coins. Thank you for your patronage." Lin bowed 90 degrees. The demon hunter gritted his teeth and rustled coins out of his pouch. He couldn't say why, but he had a constant feeling this fellow was scheming to swindle him. After paying, he hesitantly looked at the potion in his hand and asked, "If I drink this, will I really go bald?" To be honest, he was reluctant. That head of glossy black hair had been carefully maintained for many years. Lin said seriously, "Baldness is a small price, strength lasts a lifetime, and it's just hair. If you lose it, come to me and I'll have it replanted for you." Lin suddenly thought of a profitable business chain. Critical hit potion plus hair transplants equals steady small income. The demon hunter hesitated, but thinking about how close he'd come to dying at the hands of that Black Knight, who was far stronger than him, he felt conflicted. If going bald made him stronger, then maybe it wasn't entirely unacceptable. With that thought, he popped the cork. He downed the potion in one gulp. Immediately, red light danced across his whole body. His face registered astonishment, and he felt an indescribable power surging through him. This is," he gasped, breathing rapidly. With a thunderous boom, his clothes split open, revealing rippling muscle fiber underneath. He clearly felt the enormous amplification within his body. It was almost unimaginable. At that moment, he finally realized just how extraordinary the potion was. Losing hair was a small price to pay. A gust of wind whooshed past. Under Lin's wide-eyed stare, the demon hunter's shiny black hair was swept away by the wind. Ding! A gleam flashed from his newly polished forehead. Lin. But he stifled his laugh, not letting it out. He knew if he laughed aloud he'd be dead. Still, it was hard to hold in, because this head was noticeably rounder and shinier than the last one. The demon hunter turned to the mirror and stared at his newly gleaming bald head, murmuring, "I'm bald, and stronger." Ding! A flash of light twinkled on his forehead. Seeing the demon hunter's dazed expression, Lin patted his shoulder and comforted him. "Uncle, this is actually a good thing. Think about it, in the future when you go out, you'll have your own light source. That saves you a fortune on lighting costs, right? He made a lot of sense. For some reason, though, the urge to kill this human kid welled up strongly. Chapter 33, like I don't know how to dodge or something. A dozen or so minutes later. In the darkness outside Wandering Soul's alley. Faintly visible in the deepest part of the darkness, like a signal light, a flickering light source was rapidly approaching this location. That light was like a firefly in the darkness. Flash, flash. And in the very next moment, accompanied by the whinny of a warhorse, the Black Knight with his gloomy face and shining bald head charged forward. Above his head, swarms of moths circled around his scalp in swirling motions. His gaze was dark and gloomy as he searched everywhere for traces of that demon hunter. Half an hour earlier. He had already severely wounded that demon hunter, but in the end, the hunter had managed to escape during the gap when his potion effects wore off. Yet he believed that demon hunter couldn't have gotten far. As centuries-old mortal enemies. If he could just kill him, his combat ranking in the dark world would rise another level. This hard-won opportunity, he absolutely wouldn't let it slip away easily. Right at that moment, his eyes flashed. He instantly sensed that familiar aura coming from the direction of Wandering Soul's alley. "Found you," he sneered, sharply turning his head to gaze into the hazy black mist in the distance. Ding! A flash of light lit up from within that black mist. He immediately froze. This is, he hesitated, feeling an indescribable, overwhelming sense of familiarity. Deep within the churning black mist, he vaguely saw a flickering halo of light slowly approaching his direction, flashing approximately every 2 seconds, the light incredibly brilliant. For some reason, he felt a strangely familiar sensation, just like, and in the very next moment, a bare-chested figure with eyes hidden in darkness slowly emerged into his field of vision. The Black Knight shuddered violently, because he immediately recognized that figure as the demon hunter who had battled him earlier. That's, he exclaimed in shock, taking a step back. The demon hunter held a long blade, his expression dark and cold, eyes hidden in shadow, taking step after step toward him. Ding! An identical shiny bald head lit up with a plus symbol halo. The demon hunter slowly stopped, deeply opened his eyes, tightened his grip on the blade, and said, "Now we can continue our unfinished battle." Ding! His head flashed once. Ding! As if responding, the Black Knight's smooth head also flashed simultaneously. An eerie silence inexplicably spread throughout the surroundings. The Black Knight stared at him in stunned confusion, his gaze instantly falling on the medicine bottle in the hunter's hand, gritting his teeth as he said, "Could it be that?" "Exactly." A rolling aura whooshed out from the demon hunter's body. He raised his head, looking down dismissively at the Black Knight, saying, "I've gone bald, but I've also become stronger." Ding! His indifferent forehead flashed with an even brighter light. "Don't think only you can go bald. When I go bald, you'll have to step aside." His gaze turned gloomy, suddenly opening his eyes wide, battle intent and killing intent soaring. The Black Knight's face darkened, saying deeply, "It seems we're back to the same starting point again." Ding! His head flashed with light. "Exactly." The demon hunter looked at him indifferently. Ding ding, he flashed twice consecutively. "Moreover, my flash frequency is higher than yours, which means..." He cracked his neck, slickly running his hand over his shiny bald head, howling winds swirling around him as he said profoundly, "I am stronger than you." Ding ding ding, he flashed 3 times to show his arrogance. Gusting winds whirled at their feet, creating one vortex after another, rolling battle intent rumbled and rose from their bodies. Both stood completely still, squinting their eyes. Like the calm before a showdown at the Forbidden City's peak, both their auras intensified wildly. Even the lights on their heads competed against each other. You ding once, I ding once. And in the very next moment, without another word, in the darkness, 2 points of light rapidly closed in. Clang! Blades instantly collided, the two furiously grinding their weapons against each other, countless sparks exploding from where steel met steel. Both pressed their foreheads hard against each other, teeth gritted, neither giving ground. "You damned bald egg, I've long been sick of looking at you. Don't think going bald means you can defeat me, as if anyone can't go bald. Even bald, you're no match for me. I'll show you flashing, I'll show you plagiarizing me. Go to hell." Bang, sparks flew everywhere. "Fuck, you dare headbutt me, I'll crack your skull open too." Bang, for a time, two furious points of light in the darkness continuously collided and exchanged blows, neither yielding. Ding! Congratulations, host, for obtaining achievement. Potion Tycoon, you have received 200 base experience. Potion Tycoon. By selling the same type of potion and earning over 20,000 skeleton coins in revenue, you have obtained permanent bonus. All attributes +1, selling potions grants an additional 1% profit. Ding! You have successfully reached level 6. The system has unlocked new function, Sight, for you. You can log in to view at any time. At the counter. Several system notifications sounded consecutively in Lin's mind. Lin quickly allocated all 4 newly obtained attribute points into his constitution. Sight, what function is this? Lin was slightly moved. He immediately called up the system interface, then spotted a large eye icon in the corner of the panel. System. Sight is an illusory realm generated by the supreme will of the dark world, overlapping with the dark world itself, a mirror world that has persisted for tens of millions of years. Any dark creature within the scope of the dark world can enter Sight through special sight stones. With their consciousness, you can exchange information with other creatures within Sight. Upon death, you will be forcibly expelled from Sight, but this won't cause significant damage to your main body. After listening to the system's explanation, Lin roughly understood some of it. This seemed to be a consciousness world similar to modern networks. It appears my understanding of this dark world is still too limited, Lin pondered. It could be said that over these past 2 years, because he was too weak, he never had the opportunity to leave this small shop, let alone contact the broader world outside Wandering Souls Alley. Do I not need to consume those so-called sight stones to enter? Lin questioned. Ding! The system has successfully completed integration for you. Each login only requires a fee of 500 skeleton coins. The system will automatically establish the connection for you. So expensive? Lin exclaimed in surprise. Fortunately, he had accumulated considerable income by now and could give it a try, without another word. Lin reached out and tapped on the system's eye icon. Activate, and in the very next moment, Lin instantly felt as if his brain had been heavily struck, his consciousness buzzing as he plunged into darkness. Vaguely, it felt like an immensely grand will directly locked onto him, seeing through his entire soul, making one shudder with fear. But that sensation only lasted for an instant. The next moment, Lin's eyes snapped open. This place is... Chapter 34, that shop is a total scam. Lin was stunned. What appeared before his eyes was no longer his small shop, but an incredibly vast square that stretched beyond sight. The sky was pitch black, and shadowy figures resembling wandering souls moved about the square. High above in the sky, a giant eyeball resembling the sun hovered there, emitting a faint black glow as it watched over the entire world. Ding! Host has successfully passed the Supreme Will's review and entered the site. This is Site Square of Area 900 in the 11th Abyssal World. Please note that within Site Square's boundaries, the Supreme Will prohibits all forms of conflict. You can now freely view your information through the rune on your wrist. Please avoid exposing your coordinates and identity in the dark world unless necessary, otherwise bear the consequences yourself. Skeleton coins are the only currency that can be transmitted within the site. The system has automatically converted 1,000 skeleton coins for your entry into the site. Lin raised his ethereal arm and indeed saw a dark blue eye rune on his wrist. Lin quickly composed himself. The dark world truly exceeds imagination, actually giving birth to such a large-scale consciousness interaction space. Supreme Will. Lin caught that key term. This should be related to the giant eyeball above. Could it be that this Supreme Will is the god of this dark world? Lin hesitantly touched the rune on his wrist, and in the next moment, a stream of information appeared before his eyes. Lin. Race, otherworld human. Identity, none resources. 1,000 skeleton coins. Danger level, mildly dangerous. Very brief. Compared to the system's extensive panels, this was rather simplistic. Lin asked doubtfully, System, what's your relationship with that Supreme Will? I kind of feel like you're somewhat similar. System. No relationship whatsoever. The reply was extremely simple. Lin shrugged and quickly scanned his surroundings. Based on his understanding, This should be similar to concepts like the metaverse or online games from Earth consciousness uploading that allows people to access information from anywhere through this world. For someone like him, who rarely ventured out, this was absolutely the best channel. If different areas are divided, then this square 900 should correspond to a large area that includes Wandering Souls Alley. Lin pondered and analyzed. Just as Lin was still thinking, suddenly, a line of bloody text formed by light dots instantly appeared before Lin's eyes. Identity: Intelligence Agent, releasing information to all beings in Square 900. Major battle erupts near Wandering Souls Alley. Demon Hunter vs. Black Knight. Receiving intelligence consumes skeleton coins, 20 coins. Lin was immediately startled. Then Lin immediately saw many wandering shadows in the square simultaneously stop moving. Clearly, they had all received the same information transmission. You can actually do this? Lin was shocked. If this was some function of the site, then intelligence instantly had a quick channel for monetization. Without another word, Lin immediately clicked confirm. Skeleton coins minus 20. And in that instant, a dark image appeared before Lin's eyes. In the image, black mist billowed, but constant explosions from the distance confirmed that two beings were fighting within that mist. And in the next moment, two bright light points suddenly lit up within the black mist, rapidly jumping and clashing. That's... Lin was stunned. And the next moment, the image suddenly cleared as the mist rolled away. Two figures abruptly appeared, precisely the Black Knight and Demon Hunter who had just visited his shop earlier. Ding, ding, their gleaming bald heads shimmered with light in the image. Lin instantly went blank. Meanwhile, messages from various beings continuously floated across the image, with the viewer count displayed beside the image already reaching 2013. Correct. I've seen them before. That's Black Knight ranked 171st on the Wild Hunt list, and Abyssal Demon Hunter ranked 143rd. They're actually near Wandering Souls Alley right now. They've always been archenemies. 2 years ago, they fought once on the Hellfire Plains. Wait, don't you think their appearances are somewhat peculiar? They both seem to be bald, and why are their heads glowing? How strange. So weird. I came to watch a battle, but why can't I look away from their heads? So shiny, so shiny. My titanium alloy dog eyes. Although I don't know why they're both bald, they seem stronger than before. Amazing. As Lin stared wide-eyed, the image continuously displayed uniform messages of so shiny, for some reason. Lin suddenly felt like he was watching bullet comment videos on websites before his transmigration. Was the dark world this up-to-date? Lin quickly finished watching the entire scene and calmed his mind. It seemed this was indeed a consciousness world capable of information interaction. Had to admit, having such a world definitely offered more development possibilities. If he could establish his shop's reputation within the site and expand more services, whether selling potions or providing medical assistance would obviously be more convenient than just guarding that small shop. And if he could enter the site, his teacher should probably know about this place too, though he thought this. Lin remained very cautious. His first priority now was to explore this world's information exchange channels thoroughly, which would be more beneficial for his development. Lin's gaze fell once again on the ice blue rune on his wrist. He clicked it once. His identity panel in the site appeared before his eyes. He experimentally clicked twice in succession. Instantly, a completely new panel abruptly appeared before his eyes. This is... Lin was shocked. Regional channel. Then Lin immediately saw scrolling messages one after another in the image. This intense sense of familiarity made Lin wonder whether he had transmigrated to another world or into an online game world. Because this feeling of déjà vu was really too strong. Lin frowned, quickly reading the messages from various beings in the channel. Blood doll. Uncles and aunts, have any of you seen my mother? If you have, contact me. I'll offer generous rewards. Skeleton demon. Don't approach her. Warning everyone, she ate one of my arms last time. If I hadn't run fast, she would have swallowed me whole. Everyone stay alert. Long hair ghost. Neighbors, I'm here to seriously warn everyone that potion shop in the alley is a complete scam. I went there yesterday wanting to buy a potion, and guess what I saw? Long hair ghost. Terrified expression. That perverted doctor in the shop was riding on someone's body while wielding a chainsaw, zzzzzzzing as he dismembered them. I was so scared I ran away immediately." As these words appeared, the channel suddenly became active. Blood doll. Yes, yes, super scam shop. That human doctor deep-throated my doll yesterday. He even dug out my doll's eyes and it still hurts now. Evil spirit queen. Image. Click to view. Chapter 35, The Truth Exposed. Lin stared wide-eyed and subconsciously clicked on that image. Instantly. Before his eyes appeared a tentacle holding up an adorable baby making a face. Everyone. Evil spirit queen. My daughter. Everyone. Evil spirit queen. That human boy said having a daughter like this reflects the true goodness and beauty in my heart, but I always felt he did something to my daughter because all my other children look like this. Image. Click to view. Lin opened the picture. The screen immediately displayed one twisted, corrupted tentacle monster after another, gaping maw creatures, rotting flesh conglomerates, severe visual pollution. Burned ghost. Your Majesty, when I visited that shop yesterday morning, I saw that human doctor. He seemed to be giving a ghost baby a cosmetic procedure using rather terrifying methods. Not sure if it was your daughter, Evil Spirit Queen. Evil Spirit Queen, private message me, details, now. Snap, Lin's eyes widened as he swiftly closed the regional channel. This has to be a joke. But how could he have possibly known that this dark world actually had an information exchange platform similar to the metaverse? He finally managed to con that female ghost into complete submission today. And the case gets reopened in less than a day. Originally, Lin wanted to further explore more functions of the site, but at this moment, Lin truly had zero interest left. Quickly, Lin logged off. The moment his consciousness returned to his body, Lin rushed to the front door at an unbelievable speed, without another word. Lin moved to close the door, but almost simultaneously, from the black mist outside came a voice dripping with sweet amusement. Good child, closing so early today, afraid of something? Lin's expression froze in place. Tap, tap, footsteps sounded one after another. Soon, from the black mist not far away emerged a woman with an enchanting figure and utterly seductive demeanor. A captivating smile played on her lips, long wavy hair cascading down her back, her steps exceptionally alluring. It was precisely that blood-robed evil spirit from before. Lin's San -10. She came this fast. Lin immediately put on his professional smile, rubbing his temples as he said, "Not at all, just feeling a bit unwell today, so I wanted to close early and get some proper rest." The blood-robed evil spirit swayed over gracefully, slowly biting her crimson lips as she said, "Is that so? What a real pity then. I was just thinking of properly thanking you for taking such good care of my daughter." Ding, crisis level 79%. Lin subconsciously took a step back, secretly gripping the revolver behind him, maintaining his smile. "Not at all, not at all. This is all what I should be doing. No thanks needed." Ding, you have triggered mission, survive. Mission reward. 200 skeleton coins, 200 basic EXP, special reward zone. Lin, the blood-robed evil spirit smiled as she stepped closer step by step. Her gaze remained exceptionally gentle, but in direct contrast was the continuously rising crisis level. Crisis level 81%, crisis level 85%, crisis level 90%. But just as she was about to reach Lin's side, the distant darkness suddenly echoed with the sound of rolling wheels approaching from afar. Squeak, squeak, extremely grating. The blood-robed evil spirit immediately stopped, the smile on her face slightly freezing. Slowly, an old woman full of wrinkles pulling a cart gradually appeared before Lin's potion shop, smiling as she greeted Lin. "Young man, closing up already?" Lin immediately seized this lifeline, cheerfully welcoming her as he said, "Yes, feeling a bit under the weather, so wanted to rest early." "How were your findings today, Grandma?" The scavenger chuckled happily. "Getting old, nobody pays this old woman any mind. But with those things you gave me today, I won't need to scavenge for several days, heh." Without another word, Lin said seriously, "You know what, Granny, I've accumulated some trash today that might interest you. Should I get it for you now?" "Oh," the scavenger chuckled. "Then thank you kindly, young man." Lin quickly returned to the potion shop, then immediately brought out the long hair dropped by the demon hunter and Black Knight, solemnly placing it on the scavenger's cart. "Ding, you have given scavenger, demon hunter's long hair zone. Ding, you have given scavenger. Black Knight's white hair zone. The scavenger jolted, then fixed an extremely complex gaze on Lin, saying, "When I passed by the alley entrance, those two outsiders were still fighting. The glare from their foreheads hurt this old woman's eyes. Those two bald heads, they got them shaved at your place." Lin smiled. "Correct, they're both very good customers of mine." The scavenger paused, then revealed an impressed smile. "Impressive, truly impressive. Didn't expect all the outsiders recently appearing in our Wandering Souls alley to have connections with you, young man. The younger generation truly inspires awe. But this time, this old woman has nothing to give you. You wouldn't mind if I rest my feet at your shop's entrance, would you?" Lin quickly supported the old woman, cheerfully saying, "Nothing would make me happier. Please sit, Granny. Rest as long as you want, absolutely no problem." Ding. You have completed mission. Blood-robed evil spirit has abandoned her hostile intentions toward you. You receive reward, 200 skeleton coins, 200 basic EXP, special reward. Cursed Diagnosis Skill Book, Zone. Lin maintained his smiling expression, but internally felt like he had narrowly escaped death's door multiple times over. He knew that blood-robed evil spirit had come specifically to kill him. If this friendly old woman hadn't appeared, he probably would have met his end here today. "Young man, who is this?" The scavenger smiled as she turned her head, looking toward the red-clad, blood-robed evil spirit not far away. Lin immediately cheerfully introduced, "Oh, this is also one of my customers, a neighbor who recently moved in, a very friendly and beautiful lady." The blood-robed evil spirit let out a light laugh, cold light swirling in her eyes. She didn't linger. Slowly turning around, she flipped her long hair, the corner of her mouth quirking up as she said, "Since you have matters to attend to, I won't disturb you further. However, I've prepared some delicious dishes tonight. You wouldn't mind being my guest, would you? I live at number 45. My daughter is quite fond of you." Ding, you have triggered mission, Blood Banquet. Mission Branch 1. Accept the blood-robed evil spirit's invitation and attend as guest. Mission Branch 2. Decline the blood-robed evil spirit's invitation and survive tonight. Mission Reward. 1,000 skeleton coins, 500 basic EXP, special reward zone SS Scritch. The blood-robed evil spirit's mouth stretched all the way to her ears, revealing the crawling tentacles and sinister barbs within. "You wouldn't refuse me, would you?" she said gently. Chapter 36, Public Execution. Then she crossed her arms, turned around, and walked back into the darkness with graceful abandon, listening to her footsteps fade away. Only then did Lin exhale and finally relax. "Young man," the scavenger beside him smiled and said, "Go back, but be careful, do not provoke any grudging spirits. If you do, they will cling to you forever." Lin snapped back to himself and immediately thanked her. "In any case, thank you, Grandma. If not for you earlier, I would have been in real danger." The scavenger chuckled, hobbling her cart as she smiled. "If it weren't for you last night, Wandering Souls Alley might not have survived. But Grandma will only help you this once. What happens to you after this is none of Grandma's business." Creak, creak, Lin watched the old woman pull her cart and disappear into the black mist, his expression turned grave. He hurried back to the potion shop. He glanced at the time and raised an eyebrow. "I can only wait to see if teacher comes back tonight. If he doesn't return today, then things will be troublesome soon." The soul lamp outside the door flickered and gradually dimmed. Night was approaching. Still no sign that his teacher would return. Lin paced nonstop. He knew it was highly likely his teacher would not return today. Only two choices lay before him. Either go accept a visitor or stay and hold out until morning. But clearly, with his current strength, holding out until morning would be extremely difficult. He frowned. Without further hesitation, he immediately spent 500 skeleton coins and quickly logged into the site to gather information. The moment he opened the regional channel, he immediately saw that familiar nickname. Regional channel. Burned ghost. "Queen, did you finish off that human brat?" Evil spirit queen. "That brat got lucky. A scavenger of uncertain strength happened to pass by. Her relationship with that old woman seems unusual. I didn't make a move." Skeleton demon. "You don't mean the old woman in human skin, do you? Be careful, she's said to be one of Wandering Souls Alley's earliest residents." Many say she might be a remnant of an origin-level monster. Her power is terrifying. Evil Spirit Queen. Interesting, but if it comes to a real fight, I'm not afraid of her. Evil Spirit Queen. Tonight I invited that brat to be my guest. If he comes, there will be a show waiting for him. If he doesn't, hee-hee, I'll just find some other fun. Burned Ghost. Queen, invincible? All the comments below were non-stop flattery. Clearly, she hadn't lived here long, but she had already established strong authority in Wandering Souls Alley. As expected in a world ruled by strength. Skeleton Demon. Queen, could he be in the site right now, watching us chat? Evil Spirit Queen. Impossible. That guy is weak. He doesn't even have the ability to enter the site. Even if he did, I'm already itching to get at him. Tomorrow you can wait for my battle report. Evil Spirit Queen. At Human Dog Doctor, are you there? Are you there? Evil Spirit Queen. At you bastard who trained my daughter, are you there? If you have the guts, come out. Slap. Lin slammed the regional channel closed, eyes wide. They were openly planning to target him. No way. Lin logged off immediately, face stern. He squinted, taking his revolver, his heart, and the boning knife with him, his best self-defense tools so far. Then he opened his panel. Skills. Infectious Aura. Slightly increases the success rate of persuasion. Curse Diagnosis. Can detect whether the target is afflicted by a curse during diagnosis. Lin. An all-attribute into body stats spread and a handful of life skills, a 7 out of 10 trash combatant. I can't go head-on, I need to be cunning. Lin's expression hardened. He watched the soul lamp dimming. Without hesitation, he shut the shop door, picked up the lamp that was growing faint, and for the first time left the potion shop. The soul lamp's light pushed back the black mist. Silence and emptiness filled the dark. Soon, Lin stood before the gate of number 45, Wandering Souls Alley. Looking up, an old, dilapidated house came into view. A thick stench of blood and mildew slammed into him. This was the pig-headed demon's shop from before. Only now, yesterday, he had been eat. Creak. Lin lifted the lamp and slowly pushed the old wooden door open. "Ma'am, I'm here to visit," Lin shouted. Inside was pitch black, the air heavy with rotten, moldy stench. Lin walked in carefully. In the dark, he faintly heard rustling, wriggling sounds again and again. It sounded like something hung upside down, chains clinking faintly. Then, the next moment. Whoosh! Candles on the wall began to ignite one after another, instantly illuminating the entire room. Lin immediately saw. One by one, hanging from the chains, suspended upside down, were human bodies skinned and dried. He could even clearly make out the frozen, contorted expressions on their faces. Clearly. Before the pig-headed demon died, this place had been a bloody, brutal slaughterhouse. Lin reached out and poked the face of the corpse hanging before him. Not as handsome as me. He shook his head, pushed the hanging body aside, and walked forward. The next moment, Lin saw a square table in the center of the room, draped with a blood-red tablecloth. 2 candlesticks flickered with weak flames. A pair of high-heeled shoes sat on the table. The atmosphere was indescribably eerie and incongruous. "Ma'am, are you here?" Lin shouted, but no one answered. Lin blinked, shrugged, and eyeing the chair set as if prepared for him, plopped down. At the same time, somewhere on the second floor, countless sticky tentacles slithered and crawled along the walls. The blood-robed evil spirit narrowed her eyes, staring at the mirror that faintly glowed and displayed the first-floor scene. Cold laughter filled her eyes. "Everyone, the doctor is here. Since you all want to watch a public execution, tonight you can feast your eyes." In the site, the mirror's live feed was appearing in the regional channel. There were already a full 541 viewers. Blood Doll. I don't think this is good. After all, he's Bloodsaw's apprentice. If they kill him now, when Bloodsaw returns it will be terrifying. Burned Ghost. Queen afraid of that? Bloodsaw is a perverted killer. His apprentice is a little perverted killer. A human getting so brazen in our Wandering Souls Alley deserves to pay. Skeleton Demon. At Evil Spirit Queen, how do you plan to kill him? Before the mirror. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered and flicked her long hair, mocking, "I won't kill him so easily. If it's a human, the best execution is to break their spirit first. Don't you want to see his terrified face? I think that will be very entertaining." She turned her head and looked at the adorable baby sleeping soundly in the corner. Her eyes instantly reddened. If she hadn't already known it was that human who caused this mess, she might have been fooled by him. Poor daughter. She could have become a powerful, twisted hunter, but now she's just an adorable, utterly useless baby. All because of that human. She abruptly turned, staring hard at the mirror, and said, "Everyone, this is a scene I carefully arranged. Wait and see how he dies." Instantly, she tugged on one of the tentacles hanging from above. Creak, as if something had been triggered. Chapter 37, it went in with just one stab, at the same time. First floor, Lin yawned, sitting in a chair with his legs crossed, patiently waiting. But just at that moment, suddenly, Lin abruptly heard the sound of chains clinking from behind him. Lin turned his head sharply. Then he immediately saw that the rows of dried, skinned corpses that had been hanging upside down just moments ago were now all standing on the ground. Motionless, a strange and chilling aura instantly washed over him. Lin stared wide-eyed. He slowly turned his head back and sat up straight. Click, a sound came. He sharply turned his head again. Then he immediately saw that the skinless corpses that had been standing there seemed to have moved much closer to his position. Haunting? Lin raised an eyebrow. This time he didn't look away but stared directly at those skinless corpses, watching to see if they would move again. After a long while, he blinked once. Instantly, when Lin opened his eyes again, a skinless corpse had silently appeared right in front of him, its terrifying face less than 5 centimeters from his own. Lin stared wide-eyed, his body stiffening as he leaned back slightly. Second floor. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered coldly, her eyes flashing with excitement as she watched Lin's frozen form in the mirror, her face filled with satisfaction. In the site's regional channel, various evil spirits were even more excited. As expected of the blood-robed queen, her way of creating terror is too strong. If I were that guy, I'd probably be scared too. Yes. So many skinless corpses of his own kind suddenly coming to life, anyone would feel creeped out. He should be too scared to blink now. If he blinks again, he'll get his throat bitten off instantly. The evil spirits excitedly discussed. Then they saw in the scene that Lin carefully leaned back, eyes wide open. Then he slowly reached out his hand, cautiously extending it toward the skinless corpse's mouth. What's he doing? The evil spirits were stunned, not understanding, because it seemed like he wasn't acting like someone who was scared out of their mind. Click, under their astonished gaze. Lin in the scene suddenly pried out a gold tooth from the mouth of the skinless corpse that was right in front of him, wiped it with a handkerchief, blew on it, and put it in his pocket. Blood-robed evil spirit, burned ghost, blood doll. Instantly, the previously excited regional channel fell completely silent. Everyone looked dumbfounded. This wasn't right. This seemed to seriously conflict with how they imagined things would develop. What is he doing? A message in the regional channel asked blankly. Gold is very valuable in the human world. It's like hard currency similar to skeleton coins. An evil spirit explained. But this explanation was completely unconvincing. Skeleton demon? Look, he moved. Is he finally going to run away this time? The evil spirits immediately stared intently at the scene. In the scene, Lin slowly crawled out from under the skinless corpse's arm, keeping his eyes wide open the entire time without blinking. Then he walked around to the back of the skinless corpse, pulled out his boning knife from his waist. With a squelching sound, he directly stabbed it into a certain opening from below. Blood-robed evil spirit, a blood doll. Burned ghost, he stabbed it. He actually stabbed it there. All the dark creatures watching in the regional channel felt a tingling sensation below, their buttholes clenching tightly, fearful expressions appearing on their faces. Squelch, squelch, squelch. Every time Lin stabbed with the knife in the scene, the dark creatures watching in the regional channel trembled all over. Then they saw. After the young man in the scene stabbed a dozen times from below, he turned around, eyes still wide open, and walked to another skinless corpse. Squelch, same position, same stab. Anal assault demon? This time, everyone in the regional channel became completely unsettled. Every time Lin stabbed, they trembled and clenched their buttholes, as if he wasn't stabbing those puppets but themselves. This isn't right. This isn't right at all. These puppets can't scare him at all. He seems to be getting more excited the more he stabs. No, this is too torturous. I don't want to watch this spine-chilling scene anymore. He's not afraid at all. Just as Lin in the scene set his sights on the next target. The blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth and immediately gave the order. Kill him! Instantly. The frozen, skinless corpses in the scene suddenly began to twist and crackle. One corpse suddenly opened its mouth and let out a terrifying, hoarse screech toward Lin. Squelch! But before it could finish screeching, Lin's boning knife that had just been stabbing below was directly thrust through its mouth. Then under the stunned gaze of countless viewers in the regional channel, Lin was like he had entered God mode. One knife, one kill, one after another was smoothly taken down, each stab placed in a very tricky position. In less than 3 minutes, dozens of skinless puppets were all knocked to the ground. The regional channel fell completely silent. All the evil spirits stared blankly at Lin's handsome, knife-wielding figure in the scene. This human is this badass. He took them all down, and he doesn't seem afraid at all. Why do I feel kind of scared instead? And just as everyone was watching in shock the next moment, they suddenly saw Lin quickly running toward the door. Instantly, the evil spirit's eyes lit up. He wants to escape. But less than a few seconds after Lin disappeared from the scene, they immediately heard a series of buzzing sounds coming from off-screen. What's that sound? An evil spirit asked in astonishment. And then the next moment, they saw Lin rushing back in, damn it, holding a chainsaw, pulling the starter pull like a serial killer. Everyone, dare to scare me. Tired of living? Damn it! Today I'm going to chop you all up and feed you to my big baby. Pull under everyone's terrified gaze. Lin held the chainsaw, damn it, beginning to perform child-traumatizing humane destruction on the skinless puppets lying on the ground. Bzzzzzzzzzzz, for a time, extremely bloody and terrifying scenes played out before the camera. Blood doll, screaming, not watching anymore. Too scary. He won't even spare the corpses. Long hair ghost. Extremely terrified, yes, this is how he sawed yesterday. Burned ghost. Holding head in terror, he's not a normal human at all. Queen, you can't use normal human methods against him. He saws people up even more ruthlessly than his teacher. In the regional channel, countless SAN value -1 messages flooded the screen. Seeing that the audience was about to develop psychological trauma, the blood-robed evil spirit quickly turned off the scene, clenched her fists, grrr saying, This guy. Chapter 38. Honestly, I want to cooperate with you too. First floor. Ding. Blood doll's attitude toward you has reached extreme terror. You gained 100 experience. Ding. Burned ghost's attitude toward you has reached psychological trauma level. You gained 150 experience. Ding. Long hair ghost's personality trait timidity has been successfully changed by you to autism. You gained 200 experience. And so on. Ding. Your reputation in Wandering Souls Alley has increased by 30. Lin. Holding the chainsaw, he turned around in confusion, looking around. This doesn't feel right. He had only sawed through some puppets, so why did he suddenly gain so much experience? And what's with those familiar names? Were they all in this room? Lin swiftly scanned left and right, carefully searching through the room with chainsaw in hand, but found nothing else. How strange. Lin shrugged blankly, then proceeded to clean up the scene. He nonchalantly sat back in the chair, even pulling out a small bottle of aged liquor from his coat, pouring it into a wine glass and closing his eyes to savor it. In the regional channel, the dark creatures finally managed to blink and slowly come back to their senses from the terrifying scene they had just witnessed. I think this guy must have been trained for this, and judging by his sawing technique just now, this is absolutely the result of long-term exposure and influence from being around that perverted teacher of his. This guy doesn't get scared at all. Exactly. I don't think making this guy break down will be an easy task. Blood-robed evil spirit narrowed her eyes and said, So what? No matter what, he's still just a weak human. If he's not afraid of physical monsters, then I refuse to believe he can equally resist elusive evil spirits. Whoosh! She forcefully pulled another dangling tentacle beside her. In the scene, Lin, who had been closing his eyes savoring wine, suddenly felt a chilling wind brush past his ear, making him instinctively shiver. The flames of the 2 candlesticks on the table also suddenly began flickering wildly. Lin paused, put down his wine glass, turned to look around the dim surroundings, puzzled. What kind of trick is this now? For some reason, the atmosphere around him seemed to have suddenly turned cold and gloomy, and just at that moment, suddenly, Lin's peripheral vision caught movement. The eyes of the portrait in an oil painting hanging on the wall seemed to have moved. Lin quickly turned to look in that direction. Crossing his arms, he strode over to beneath that oil painting on the wall, looked up, and examined the golden-haired, blue-eyed human nobleman depicted in the painting. So why is there a human world oil painting here? Lin wondered aloud as he observed. Only he didn't notice. In the darkness behind him, something was approaching him step by step. The candle flames flickered wildly. And just at that moment, slowly, Lin suddenly felt a cold sensation on his shoulder, as if something had pressed down on it. Lin almost instinctively turned his head to look at his shoulder. Instantly, 4 eyes met. A female ghost's face, deathly pale, rotting, with blood flowing from all 7 orifices, was staring directly at him from 0 distance. The air fell into an extremely eerie silence. In the regional channel, one dark creature after another watching the scene held their breath, eyes wide, nervously observing this moment. Indeed, these ethereal spirits are the most terrifying. If it were me turning around to see that, I'd probably be scared enough to wet my pants. This human's mental fortitude couldn't possibly be strong enough to not fear even this kind of sudden shock, could it? Everyone watched the scene with bated breath. In the scene, a brief few seconds of silence. Then they suddenly saw Lin give a flirtatious wink at the female ghost's face on his shoulder. Everyone, Japanese letter? The ghost face also seemed to pause, because it could clearly sense that this human showed absolutely no fear at its appearance. Lin closed his eyes, exhaled, and sighed. Don't waste your energy. Are you also one of the extras that lady brought in to mess with me? Tell her to stop with all these flashy tricks. Since I'm here as a guest, you people treating a guest like this really puts me in a difficult position. The ghost face paused for a moment, then instantly widened its eyes, opened its mouth several meters wide, and let out a terrifying howl toward Lin. Slap! Lin delivered a crisp backhand slap across the ghost face's cheek. Everyone. The ghost face's mouth instantly returned to normal from the sudden slap, its expression completely dumbfounded. Lin shook his hand and said with closed eyes, "What's with opening your mouth so wide? Want to die?" Regional channel. Wait, something's wrong, something's wrong. Wasn't that an ethereal spirit? Why could he slap it so crisply? Can he actually touch ghosts? There's a problem, there's definitely a problem. In the scene, after slapping the ghost face back to its original form, Lin amiably reached out, grabbed the dumbfounded ghost face by the hair, turned around, and immediately spotted a headless, semi-transparent body several meters away behind him. Lin kindly placed her head back onto that transparent body. Click, click, fixed it in place. Don't go flying your head around and don't randomly scare people. Wouldn't it be better to be a quiet girl? Why bother learning to scare people from others? Lin gently helped smooth the beautiful hair on her rotting cheek. The ghost stared at him dumbfounded and finally couldn't help asking, "How can you touch me?" Lin immediately smiled cheerfully and pulled out an empty potion bottle from his coat, saying, "I'm a potion master, you know. I deal with evil spirits all the time. If you don't regularly drink potions that let you touch evil spirits, how are you supposed to perform surgery on people?" The ghost? Lin charmingly took her hand and said with a gentlemanly smile, "Miss, what's your name? May I get to know you?" This suddenly charming, pick-up line-like question instantly plunged the entire regional channel into silence. Everyone stared dumbfounded at this scene in the footage. They couldn't help feeling that things were slowly developing in a strange direction. Something's wrong. Really, something's wrong. In the scene, the female ghost was instantly thrown into confusion. Then she immediately remembered her mistress's instructions and frantically pulled her face, trying hard to create a terrifying scene. Instantly, her entire face split open right down the middle. Plop, plop, both eyeballs fell out of their sockets and dropped to the ground. A brief silence. Lin showed no reaction whatsoever. The female ghost remained stiffly holding that terrifying pose. An extremely awkward atmosphere spread shamelessly throughout the surroundings. "You're not scared?" she finally asked dumbfoundedly. This feeling was like a comedian desperately telling various jokes to amuse the audience, but the audience just sat there with deadpan expressions, completely unwilling to play along. It was really quite awkward. Lin coughed, patted her shoulder, and said, This method of scaring people, your lady already tried it on me. Although I'd really like to play along with you, I feel like this won't make you feel better. Ghost. Lin thoughtfully helped pick up her eyeballs from the ground and press them back into their sockets. Chapter 39, I'm totally useless at this. Then he helped her put her face back together, showing truly considerate qualities. Lin gently and mysteriously approached her, then slowly but firmly grasped her wrist, curling his lips into a gentle arc as he said, "Actually, scaring people is a real art form, especially when dealing with those with strong mental fortitude. Merely showing them terrifying sights won't break their defenses. You need to go a step further, making them personally witness the horrifying phenomena happening to their own bodies. That's what will truly make them fear you. For example." Lin smiled gently as he spoke, gripping her wrist and gradually guiding her hand into his own chest. Squelch, squelch, the sound of flesh being penetrated immediately came from within his robes. Copious amounts of blood instantly stained his chest crimson. Can you feel something pulsating? Is it still slightly warm? Can you feel the blood flowing out? That's right, just as you imagined, you're currently holding my heart. In the regional channel, everyone held their breath, watching in stunned silence as blood continuously seeped from his chest in the display. Combined with the gentle smile on his face, an indescribable, massive shudder and terrifying sense of dissonance rose within everyone's hearts. San -1, San -1, San -1. Meanwhile, in the display, Lin maintained his gentle expression while gradually pulling the female ghost's wrist closer, advancing toward her. The ghost's eyes were already trembling, faint traces of fear beginning to surface. Lin whispered softly by her ear, "Exactly like this. You need to gradually grip the target's heart, making them clearly feel the terror of their heart being squeezed. Then you must make them watch as you pull their heart right out of their chest." The ghost trembled as she stared at the hand being guided into his chest by his grip. Then, bit by bit, her wrist, still held by Lin's hand, slowly, gradually withdrew from within his chest. A crimson, still beating heart, tremblingly held in her blood-soaked hand, pulled out completely. San -1, San -1. Lin continued whispering softly by her ear. "And after you make them watch as you gradually extract their heart, the target's nerves will already be stretched to the absolute limit." The ghost trembled, her nerves stretched to the breaking point. Everyone in the regional channel also held their breath, their hearts practically jumping into their throats. Lin slowly whispered, "And at this moment, you only need to..." Ah. Lin suddenly opened his mouth wide, eyes bulging, instantly switching both hands into clawing gestures as he let out an unexpectedly high-pitched scream. Almost instantly, the ghost completely freaked out 0 DQ. An expression of utter terror appeared on her face, instantly broken by Lin's sudden, loud scream. "Ah, ah," the ghost grabbed her head, screaming in panic. Meanwhile, in the regional channel, the highly focused audience holding their breath also instantly got scared shitless by Lin's completely unexpected scream. "Ah, ah, Blood Doll San -50. Burned Ghost San -50. Skeleton Demon San -60. Blood-robed Evil Spirit San -40. The entire regional channel instantly exploded, and throughout Wandering Souls Alley, nearly simultaneous screams of indescribable terror could be heard. "I quit, I'm not playing anymore. Going home, I want to go home. Mommy, someone's scaring me. Not watching, I can't watch this anymore." The entire regional channel erupted in waves of ghostly wails and howls. Meanwhile, in the display, Lin couldn't help but burst into hearty laughter, holding his stomach as tears streamed from his eyes. He took the faceless demon's heart from the terrified ghost, who was now 0 DQ crouching in a corner shaking, blew on it, then stored it away. Giving her a thumbs up, he smiled and said, "So, pretty effective, right? This is exactly it. You need to first tense up their nerves, then suddenly create some terrifying sound effects and visuals to make their mental state instantly snap. That's how you achieve that completely unexpected effect. Did you learn it?" The ghost curled up in the corner trembling, 0 DQ as she said, Learned it, don't come any closer. Wah, San -10. San -10? Ding, Blood Doll's attitude toward you has changed from terrified to extremely terrified. You gained 200 base experience. Ding, Skeleton's personality trait Brave has been converted to sensitive. You gained 300 base experience. Ding, long hair ghost's personality trait reclusive has been converted to extremely reclusive. You gained 300 base experience. Lin. Lin listened to the series of system notifications ringing in his ears, completely baffled, because this wasn't the first time this had happened. Almost instantly, Lin paused, because the system had notified him about these residents of Wandering Souls Town, all of whom he had seen in the site's regional channel. Could it be that everything happening to him here was being simultaneously broadcast to the site's regional channel? How utterly shameless! Lin's gaze immediately became suspicious as he looked around warily. Meanwhile, in the regional channel, various discussions had already exploded. Blood doll, screaming, queen, evil spirit queen. I think this livestream really shouldn't continue. This guy definitely isn't the type of normal person who cracks easily. Skeleton demon. He didn't crack, several of us are about to crack first. Burned ghost. Queen, your maidservant has already been scared to tears by him. This guy seems like he's specially trained in this kind of thing. Blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth fiercely, her fists clenching with audible cracking sounds. Although she knew this kid was thick-skinned and not exactly normal, she never expected him to be this resilient. It seems she really had to take matters into her own hands. Otherwise, she would completely lose face in front of all these little ghosts in Wandering Souls Alley today. Smack! She slammed the table, gritting her teeth as she said, "Livestream ends here. I'm going down to deal with him right now. Just wait for my good news tomorrow." Then she abruptly stood up, about to shut off the mirror's surveillance. But just as her gaze fell upon the mirror, she instinctively shuddered. This guy, in the display. Lin had apparently already found the source of the surveillance. Right at this moment, he was standing on a small stool, curiously pressing one eye against the lens and peering intently inside. Then the lens moved. Clearly, the thing that had been spying on him had been pried out by Lin. After examining it carefully, he matter-of-factly stuffed it into his pocket. Chapter 40, Getting Married and Having a Kid or Something. Blood-robed evil spirit. Gnashing teeth, blood doll. Your Majesty, it's all up to you. I don't mind charging down there immediately, grabbing his neck first, giving him a beating, and then cutting off his head. Skeleton demon. Exactly. Don't give him a chance to open his mouth, just finish him off directly to eliminate any future troubles. Long hair ghost. Isn't that a bit impolite? Everyone. A long hair ghost. I was just saying something random. Evil spirit queen. Don't worry, wait for my good news. By this time tomorrow, his head will be sitting in the corner of my house, serving as my daughter's chamber pot. After saying this, the blood-robed evil spirit quickly closed the spying mirror surface, narrowing her eyes. Swoosh, tentacles wildly sprouted from her body, gnashing her teeth as her form instantly dissolved into a large pool of crimson blood that swooshed and seeped through the floorboards, heading downward toward the first floor dot in an instant. The candle flames on the first floor began flickering wildly. On the ceiling, sticky drops of blood plopped down onto the floor one after another. Instantly, those sticky blood droplets began coalescing, then transformed into the blood-robed evil spirit with her cracked face. She sharply looked around, but aside from her ghost servant cowering trembling in the corner, there was no sign of Lin anywhere. "Where is that brat?" The blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth. Her gaze instantly fell upon her ghost servant. The ghost pointed dazedly toward the wooden door leading to the corridor, saying, "Master, he said he was getting impatient waiting, so he wanted to go find you personally. He just opened the door and went to the backyard." "That damn brat!" The blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth, instantly transforming into a distorted, shrieking evil spirit whooshing toward that door. Rushing all the way to the backyard, she quickly searched through several rooms, but couldn't find Lin's figure anywhere. Then in the next moment, her gaze suddenly fell upon a black shadow flashing past the window of the second-floor attic. Her pupils instantly contracted. "This guy, he sneaked into my boudoir?" The blood-robed evil spirit immediately flew into a rage. The next moment, she suddenly leaped, instantly jumping to the window, whooshing as she threw open the window. Then she immediately saw a scene that completely broke her defenses. In the second-floor boudoir, Lin was currently standing before the bed, holding the wide-eyed, awakened, adorable baby in his arms, stroking her little ears with an expression. The blood-robed evil spirit was instantly shocked. Let go of my daughter. With a long cry, the blood-robed evil spirit raged, all her tentacles instantly surrounding Lin like ice spikes, aiming directly at him. Lin instantly snapped back to attention, then his gaze fell upon the furious woman. He flicked his monocle and smiled. Madam, this isn't exactly hospitable behavior. You said you'd invite me for dinner tonight, but just now downstairs, aside from getting a bit frightened, I didn't even get to see your face. He picked up the adorable baby, sighing. This is truly heartbreaking. The blood-robed evil spirit instantly sneered. Stop pretending to be virtuous in front of me. I already know everything you did to my daughter. What? Still trying to fool me with those same lines from daytime? It was clearly you who messed with my daughter, yet you dared say it was the embodiment of my inner goodness and beauty. I really want to tear your mouth apart right now. Lin knew. In situations like this, you absolutely cannot follow her lead. Otherwise, even with 100 mouths, you wouldn't be able to explain yourself clearly. Lin adjusted his monocle and said calmly, Madam, regardless of what you think you know, I guarantee I haven't told you a single lie. If I had even the slightest intention of fooling you, may lightning strike me 5 times. Crack! A lightning bolt instantly flashed outside the window, striking directly in the courtyard. Lin wiped his sweat, saying, As you can see, that lightning strike for some reason didn't hit me, so this sufficiently proves the credibility of my words, don't you think? The blood-robed evil spirit sneered. That expression seemed to say, I'll just quietly watch you show off. At this point, Lin took a deep breath and decided to stop pretending, laying his cards on the table. He plopped down on the bed, holding the adorable baby, sighed and shook his head. All right. I admit it, I was the one who messed with things, but madam, you must understand, I truly had no malicious intentions whatsoever. Moreover, when your daughter was first delivered by me, her face was way too messed up, not only covered in pustules but also oozing pus. And as a doctor with a strong sense of justice. Lin sighed helplessly. If I didn't make some corrections, when that pig-headed demon really came back to claim the ghost baby that came out of someone, how could I point at that pus-dripping child and say, this is your baby? It looked way too broken. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered, make it up. Keep making it up, let's see how long you can keep this going. Crisis level 87%. Crisis level 97%. Lin instantly raised his hands in surrender, saying helplessly, all right, there are other reasons too, and this time I'm telling the truth. Speak. First. Lin closed his eyes, raising one finger. I'm afraid of dying. I was afraid that when your baby completely deteriorated, she'd take me out first. After all, this is an evil spirit we're talking about. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered. That excuse seems somewhat reasonable. Second. Lin looked up, eyes closed. I wanted to test my hands-on skills, to see if I could shape a nice doll that matches my aesthetic preferences, so I used your baby to gain some experience. The blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth loudly. And the third? Third, Lin said uncomfortably. Of course, I also harbored that tiny thought that maybe the pig-headed demon wouldn't come to claim her, wondering if I could shape a cute girl, raise her, get married, and have babies someday or something. Yada, the adorable baby in his arms made a Arabic wow expression. The blood-robed evil spirit seemed to turn to stone, completely frozen in place. Lin made funny faces, adjusted his monocle, and said cheerfully, just kidding. How could I, Lin, have such vulgar thoughts? I really just wanted to simply shape a prettier doll, something nicer to look at, haha. Do you think this is funny? The blood-robed evil spirit gnashed her teeth loudly. Lin shook his head, eyes closed. Not funny. The blood-robed evil spirit was almost amused by anger. I think it's hilarious. Should I tear your mouth apart right now so you can have a good laugh? What do you think? A calm smile appeared on Lin's face as he said, Madam, I think it would be better for us to sit down and have a proper talk. If you really want to finish me off, I'm indeed no match for you, but you need to distinguish what's important here. Chapter 42. The current ranking is still far from enough. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered, her tentacles sprouting rows of sharp barbs with a rustling sound, coldly stating, Oh, is that so? Lin calmly replied. First of all, I'm a compassionate doctor. Likewise, I have many compassionate patients and customers. If I disappear, they won't be able to find me and they'll be very sad. For example, those two bald guys currently fighting to the death outside the alley, they're my loyal customers and good friends. The blood-robed evil spirit narrowed her eyes, sneering. Is that so? You mean that demon hunter and Black Knight? You think I'd believe you're... Before she could finish her sentence. Click, the sound of a safety being disengaged. Lin slowly pulled out the silver revolver from his chest, smiling as he raised it and aimed at the ceiling, saying, "You should recognize this gun, right?" The blood-robed evil spirit jolted, her eyes instantly narrowing as she said, "That demon hunter's revolver?" She was very familiar with that flashy demon hunter. Those two demon-hunting revolvers he brought from the upper world, he always kept them close and cherished them deeply. How could this gun end up in his hands? Lin smiled while holding up the gun, saying, "He's from my race and also an uncle-like figure who's very fond of me. He left this gun for my protection. If I encounter danger, I just need to fire one shot and he'll immediately come to help me. And he's right outside the alley right now. It wouldn't take him long to get here." Achoo, outside the alley, a certain bald guy sneezed violently. The blood-robed evil spirit narrowed her eyes, murderous light flickering within them. Lin smiled as he put away the gun, then pulled out a thin, curly strand of hair from his chest. "And what is this?" the blood-robed evil spirit said coldly. Lin's lips curled slightly as he said lightly, "It's a token my uncle Black Knight left me, his personal chest hair, and the longest, curliest one at that. My uncle Black Knight said that if I just give it a gentle flick, he'll sense it and come to help me. If you don't believe me, we can test it out." The blood-robed evil spirit instantly looked dumbfounded, saying, "CH chest hair?" Lin adjusted his monocle, calmly smiling. "Exactly. You should be able to sense the aura on this, right? Today my uncle Black came to see me, asked me to give him a haircut, and conveniently left me this token. He said I had darkening between my eyebrows and might face disaster soon. Looks like my uncle was absolutely right." The blood-robed evil spirit's mouth hung open. For some reason, she found herself completely unable to form any rebuttal. "And if you know him, you should be well aware that my uncle Black Knight cares deeply about his appearance. If someone dared to give him a bald head, he would definitely kill that person." Lin's lips curved slightly upward as he said, "Just think about it. Why am I completely fine then? Can't you see the incredibly close relationship between us?" Achoo, the other bald guy outside the alley also sneezed, looking utterly bewildered. The blood-robed evil spirit looked thoroughly shaken. Her eyes flickered wildly, filled with hesitation and uncertainty, because what he said was indeed true. She had fought that madman before, and that Black Knight was indeed as flashy as that demon hunter. Someone that flamboyant would never just accept having his head shaved without consequences. Instantly, her mind flashed back to earlier when this human kid gave those long, messy hairs to that scavenger. Could it be? The blood-robed evil spirit grew solemn. Indeed, this human kid could run a shop safely in this monster-filled dark world. He definitely had some connections here. No wonder he dared to be so confident. But, wait, she said with gloomy eyes, "don't try to fool me. I know perfectly well those two have been mortal enemies for centuries. If they both have such extraordinary relationships with you, why do they fight to the death every time they meet?" Lin's lips curved slightly, saying, "Madam, do you really lack such perception? Can't you see?" Lin narrowed his eyes, speaking profoundly, "that they're in a love-hate relationship." Achoo, achoo, outside the alley, the demon hunter and Black Knight sneezed simultaneously. The demon hunter immediately pointed at the Black Knight, furious. "I knew there was a reason I was sneezing. Apparently it's because you're cursing me in your heart. You're so dead." The Black Knight gritted his teeth, eyes wide with rage as he pointed back at the demon hunter. "Stop talking nonsense. Obviously it's you who's been slandering and mocking me in your heart. Today I'll beat you until you're paralyzed." Instantly, the two bald men started fighting each other again. Inside the room, the blood-robed evil spirit frowned deeply, staring at Lin, not daring to make any rash moves for the moment. Although she felt like there wasn't a single word of truth coming from his mouth, that chest hair and revolver did provide reasonable evidence that his relationship with those two was unusual. Lin smiled slightly, elbows on the table, chin resting on his hands, calm and unflustered as he said, "Those two aside, there's also my teacher. You can ask around. As a level existence in Wandering Souls Alley, think about how many people his chainsaw has cut through. And as his only apprentice plus successor, do you think my teacher would let his good child die just like that? He stretched his neck, loosened his collar, and said, "Also, that granny in our Wandering Souls alley is very fond of me too. She really treats me like her own grandson. I still need to help Grandma through her old age and send her off properly. If such a clever and filial grandson like me died, you can't imagine how heartbroken Grandma would be. Eloquence plus one. Eloquence plus one. Eloquence plus one." The blood-robed evil spirit gritted her teeth, watching Lin, who was getting more and more enthusiastic with his storytelling. For some reason, she just felt an overwhelming urge to beat him to death. By the way, Lin changed the subject, smiled slightly, then pulled out a small piece of crystal-clear, jade-like substance from his chest, saying, "See what this is." The blood-robed evil spirit's eyes instantly locked onto that tooth fragment-like object in his hand. Immediately, her expression changed, because from that tiny white object, she could sense an indescribable origin-level aura. This is, Lin's lips curved into a slight smile as he said, "Quite unfortunately, madam, I assume you know of the famous abyssal head hunter." The blood-robed evil spirit jolted throughout her entire body, almost instinctively taking a step back. Her eyes instantly fixed intently on Lin. Abyssal head hunter. As a creature of the dark world, she naturally knew very well. They were extremely terrifying origin-level monsters that constantly roamed various regions of the dark world. Every time they appeared, they would devour countless living beings and flesh. They were existences that even monarch-level powerhouses in the dark world would absolutely avoid at all costs. And quite unfortunately, just yesterday, multiple dark creature gathering spots near Wandering Souls Alley had all been completely cleaned out by those headhunters. And she herself had barely managed to escape from one of those headhunters last night. Could it be? Lin smiled as he adjusted his monocle, hinting, "Seems you're aware. Then guess, with so many creatures dying around Wandering Souls Alley, why was Wandering Souls Alley alone spared from this disaster?" Chapter 42. Ongoing strategy. The blood-robed evil spirit stared in shock at the white jade-like object in his hand, stammering in disbelief. This is impossible." Lin smiled faintly as he stood up, shrugging casually. "Unfortunately, I happen to be that headhunter's favorite private dentist. Last night she specifically came to me for dental care and has now become an honorary member of my clinic. She's been very supportive of my business." Haha, the blood-robed evil spirit's mind exploded with a deafening roar, instantly going completely blank. Even if she had been quite wary of those he mentioned earlier, if she really decided to take action, she wouldn't actually be afraid of any of them. After all, those who survive in the dark world aren't the type to cower in fear. But if she were facing an origin-level monster, she really needed to weigh her options carefully. Because for monsters of that caliber, if you truly provoke their hostility, they can find you through various means. Even hiding in the upper world won't save you. There was once a monarch-level lord in the dark world who offended an origin-level monster. Within just one day, every living being in his territory was slaughtered. He himself reached a point where no one dared offer him shelter. Ultimately, he was hunted down and killed by that origin-level monster. What she never expected was, this seemingly weak human boy actually had such connections. Lin looked at her somewhat pale face, smiling as he held the adorable baby. "Madam, you shouldn't judge by appearances. Although I may be weak in strength, good interpersonal relationships are another form of power. And you really don't need to be angry with me." Lin stood up and patted the tip of her tentacle wistfully, wearing a gentle expression. "After all, we're neighbors. Shouldn't neighbors care for each other, support one another, and huddle together for warmth? Moreover, you're such a beautiful and mature big sister." Eloquence plus one. Eloquence plus one. The blood-robed evil spirit's eyes flickered, grinding her teeth with audible clicks. She could see right through this guy, clearly employing both soft and hard tactics, that wicked behavior of striking with a stick, then offering a sweet date. But indeed, she really didn't dare take action now. Regardless of whether his words were true or false, just that tooth stone carrying the aura of an origin-level monster made her hesitate. Because if it turned out to be real, she would truly be bringing trouble upon herself. But, glaring angrily, She really wanted to eliminate this human boy. Ah! She let out a frustrated scream, her wild tentacles slapping against the surrounding walls, violently venting her anger and dissatisfaction. Then she panted, grinding her teeth as she sat on the floor, the sound of teeth grinding unmistakably clear. This feeling of having anger with nowhere to direct it made her unbearably frustrated. "Madam, calm down first," Lin said calmly while holding the adorable baby. "What I told you during the day, though partly false, wasn't entirely meant to deceive you. While truth, goodness, and beauty might sound far-fetched, I did see some qualities in you that other evil spirits lack." The blood-robed evil spirit ground her teeth, frustrated expression. "Don't you dare try to fool me again. You little bastard." She swore she wouldn't believe a single word coming from this guy's mouth. If only she could see through this kid. She'd eliminate him right now. Lin took a deep breath, maintaining a calm smile. "I'm not lying to you, madam. This is something you have to admit. You care about beauty, don't you?" The blood-robed evil spirit paused in surprise. Lin stood up, holding the adorable baby in his arms, smiling as he looked around. "Your room is quite beautiful. Unlike those cold, nauseating rooms downstairs, you've clearly put careful thought into decorating your bedroom. Whether it's the walls, bed, or chairs, everything feels refreshingly different. This isn't something other evil spirits would do." Then he turned. His gaze softened as he looked at the simple vase on the windowsill with its white flower. "I've seen this type of flower before. It's one of the rare non-toxic night lilies in the dark world. Not exactly a rare bloom, but don't you think it's unusual for an evil spirit's room to have such flowers? Moreover, you seem to have cultivated it quite luxuriantly." On the windowsill, the crystal-clear white flower shimmered faintly with dewdrops. Exquisitely beautiful. "Lin, conquest progress plus 50%. The blood-robed evil spirit stared blankly at the flower, then suddenly trembled, pointing angrily at Lin in flustered fury. "Don't you sweet-talk me, that's just. Let's set that aside for now." Lin's lips curled slightly as he held the adorable baby. "Then I'd really like to ask, if you truly find your child's current appearance disgusting, then please tell me. How did this child end up with such a beautiful dress and vest?" As these words fell, the blood-robed evil spirit immediately averted her gaze, panicking. That was just me." In the mirror, the pink little dress on the adorable baby looked exceptionally cute, forming a stark contrast with the dirty, disgusting world outside. And one could clearly see there wasn't a speck of dirt on it, with recent thread ends visible, clearly woven not long ago. Lin said, all right, no need to deny it, I've seen through it all. You actually think your baby is quite cute, don't you? When alone, you must have lovingly kissed, hugged, and nuzzled her, right?" The blood-robed evil spirit's face instantly flushed bright red as she sputtered angrily. "I did not." "Don't talk nonsense. Stop making wild guesses," Lin said. "Why hesitate to admit it? This is completely normal, affectionate behavior from a mother toward her daughter. And since you embroidered such beautiful clothes for her, obviously you're quite satisfied with your daughter's current appearance." Yada, the adorable baby Arabiquow, moved her hands and feet. The blood-robed evil spirit's face remained flushed, unable to utter a single word. But she had to admit, this guy wasn't wrong. Compared to those previous twisted, broken children, she did prefer this relatively normal and adorable baby. But having this guy say it right to her face made her feel utterly exposed. Lin wore a kind expression, speaking softly. "Madam, I've always believed that someone who pursues beautiful things in their heart must have a beautiful soul. This shows you're fundamentally different from other evil spirits. And I believe even in the human world, you would have been a very likable young woman." Listening to Lin's increasingly gentle voice, though she kept telling herself forcefully that she shouldn't believe a single word from this human boy's mouth. For some reason, she still felt her heart pounding. She clenched her teeth tightly, her gaze flickering as she stared at the wall beside her. But in her mind, Lin's words kept echoing uncontrollably, because those words truly touched the softest part of her heart, as a consciousness that died in the human world only to awaken in this dark world. Though she had been trying hard to adapt to this dark realm, she could never forget those memories from her previous life. She often wondered, what if she hadn't died? If she were still that girl in the human world, wouldn't she have had grandchildren by now? Wouldn't she have been able to watch her daughter grow up, get married, and have children, but every time she saw her distorted face in the mirror, that terrifying appearance constantly reminded her, "You're already dead. You're nothing but a twisted evil spirit now, a malicious ghost." Ding, task triggered. Resolve the blood-robed evil spirit's resentment knot. Current progress, 11%. Phase 1 task reward. 500 skeleton coins, 500 basic EXP, special reward zone. Chapter 43, I've already cleared the curse. Lin's mind rang with a system notification. Lin immediately calmed himself down. He looked at the clearly distracted blood-robed evil spirit before him. He could distinctly sense that his words had already touched her emotional defenses, and as long as he found the breakthrough point, he could completely dissolve her hostility toward him. Lin's brain operated at lightning speed. Finally, Lin's gaze locked onto her cracked face that continuously extended and retracted tentacles and barbs. Lin's heart stirred. Exactly, this was definitely a breakthrough point. For an evil spirit who constantly pursued beautiful things in her heart, the best way to break through her defenses was to help her escape her current twisted form. No matter what, such a great opportunity. He had to give it his best shot. Lin immediately snapped back to attention, adjusted his monocle, and said gently, "Madam, I imagine you don't particularly like your current appearance either. If you're willing, I might be able to help you truly take human form." Buzz, the moment these words were spoken, they exploded in the blood-robed evil spirit's mind like a thunderclap. She almost subconsciously raised her head, looking at Lin in astonishment. For a moment, her gaze seemed frozen. But quickly she resumed her cold, sneering expression and said deeply, "You, don't make me laugh. Don't think just because you stabilized my daughter's form that you actually have any real skill. That was only because my daughter is still in her infant stage, and the evil spirit curse within her hasn't fully formed. You probably haven't even seen a real evil spirit's true form." Instantly, crack, 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 accompanied by waves of bone and flesh distortion. Her body continuously cracked and expanded, her graceful form beginning to sprout rotting hand after rotting hand, constantly squeezing out thick, foul-smelling, decayed flesh. Right before Lin's eyes, the blood-robed evil spirit gradually expanded and twisted into a completely indescribable monster. Countless faces emerged across her body, each one filled with malice. It looked like a terrifying conglomerate created by forcing together countless human bodies after they'd been put through a meat grinder. Lin's ears instantly filled with the malicious whispers of countless hoarse voices merging together. "This is my true form. Do you still feel confident now?" Drip, drip, foul-smelling mucus dripped onto the ground. A long, snake-like twisted neck supported the woman's head, appearing before Lin with malicious sneering as it coiled and floated. Wah wah, the adorable baby in Lin's arms immediately started crying from fright. San -10. San -10. Lin stared blankly at the indescribable monster before him, momentarily speechless. The blood-robed evil spirit sneered viciously. "Curses, pain, resentment, they're what made me like this. Do you really think your little scalpel can resolve this?" That mocking, icy voice rumbled in Lin's ears. Crisis level 80%. Crisis level 99%. Warning, warning, target's crisis level toward you is approaching 100%, but at this moment. Lin quickly composed himself, showing no panic. And he quickly caught the key word in what she had just said. Curse. If this was what caused her current condition, I have a way, Lin said calmly. The blood-robed evil spirit's expression froze momentarily. Lin stared intently at her, reaching out to touch her snake-like winding neck. Almost instantly, he activated his curse diagnosis ability. Ding, diagnosing target's curse. Ding, target curse diagnosis complete. Lin stared intently at her, reaching out to touch her snake-like winding neck. And almost the moment he heard the diagnosis, Lin suddenly looked up and said, "Use limited time curse removal ability." Ding. Limited time curse removal ability has been applied to Demon Hunter Revolver. Would you like to switch targets? Yes. Buzz, almost instantly. The blood-robed evil spirit's eyes widened dramatically, showing an expression of utter shock. Because she immediately saw that Lin's hand touching her neck began to emit boundless light. And that light instantly flowed into her body like gentle threads. She immediately felt the curse within her beginning to slowly peel away under the influence of that glow. This, she was greatly alarmed, her face showing extreme astonishment, and right before her eyes, countless twisted black lines screamed as they were gradually stripped from her body by the light. Her pupils dilated sharply, as if she had been suddenly drained dry. She felt the curse being removed, felt that pain and distortion gradually leaving her. Ah! She let out a long, painful cry toward the sky. And in the next moment, her broken, twisted body gradually dissolved within the light, revealing a pale, slender form appearing atop the blood and gore covering the floor. Ding! Curse extraction successful. Limited time curse removal ability entered cooldown. Current cooldown time, 12 hours. Ding! Curse removal experience +1. Ding! Curse removal experience +1. Rustle, and in the next moment, her broken, twisted body gradually dissolved within the light, revealing a pale, slender form appearing atop the blood and gore covering the floor. This was the evil spirit curse he had extracted and contained. As the light faded and vision returned, Lin's gaze immediately fell upon the pure white form lying amidst the foul blood on the floor. The long, curly hair spread over her body like a waterfall, breathtakingly beautiful. "The curse has been temporarily cleared by me," Lin said with a slight smile, his expression unchanged. On the floor, the light gradually faded, revealing a dark, sinister rune floating above Lin's palm. She gradually pushed herself up to sit, her eyes reflecting her slender hands as she turned her head blankly to look at her reflection in the mirror. Instantly, her mind went completely blank. "This can't be," she murmured to herself, trembling as she reached out to touch her own cheek, because she could feel it. This was her body, no longer the disguise assembled from flesh and blood, this was her true form. And inside, that empty feeling, the evil spirit curse that had tormented her for over a century, was gone as if it had never existed. Disappeared. "What did you just do to me?" she whispered, as if living in a dream. Lin smiled slightly, holding the adorable baby as he said, "As I said before, I cleared the evil spirit curse from your body. Do you still think I was deceiving you, madam?" Lin put on a very impressive demeanor. The blood-robed evil spirit stared blankly at her reflection in the mirror. That flawless body made her feel like she had just awakened from a terrible nightmare. You really?" She finally stood up from the floor, unbelieving and empty. Over a century of evil spirit curse had actually been in this human youth's hands, so easily cleared. Chapter 44, "So, how much do you think I'm worth?" She gripped her hair tightly, closed her eyes, and let out wave after wave of nearly uncontrollable, excited screams. She became completely incoherent. She didn't even know what words to use to describe her excited and complex emotions at this moment. Lin stood in place, eyes wide, watching the woman who had suddenly started acting like she was having an epileptic fit. "System, has the curse really been cleared?" "Cleared. Then why does she seem even crazier than before?" Finally, after screaming incoherently for quite a while, the blood-robed evil spirit seemed to lose her spirit, slumping to the floor. She blankly covered her face and said, "I'm sorry, could you please step out first? Let me calm down for a moment. My emotions are quite turbulent right now." Lin stared, nodding up and down to show understanding. Then he quickly picked up the adorable baby and hurriedly pushed the door open to leave. After Lin left, the blood-robed evil spirit sat dazedly on the floor, just staring at her beautiful reflection in the mirror. "Ding. You have completed the first stage mission, Blood-Robed Evil Spirit's Grudge Resolution. You obtained 500 skeleton coins, 500 basic experience, special reward, Evil Spirit Soul Lamp Zone. Ding. Blood-Robed Evil Spirit's favorability toward you +10. Ding. Blood-Robed Evil Spirit's favorability toward you +10. Downstairs at the table, Lin sat restlessly waiting, holding the adorable baby in his arms, his scalp tingling wave after wave. He had been waiting here for about half an hour now, and ever since the mission completion notification, his ears had been ringing with a favorability +10, prompt every minute. Just a few minutes ago, the favorability had already broken through the 300 mark. But he had no idea what psychological changes that blood-robed evil spirit was going through upstairs. Regardless, with this much favorability boost, he should be able to safely get through tonight. "She probably won't kill me now," Lin pondered. Although the process had been quite complicated, the final result was clearly developing in a positive direction. And once he made it through tonight, when his teacher returned tomorrow, he really wouldn't need to be so on edge anymore. After all, his teacher's strength was absolutely top-notch. Just at that moment, a pale hand slowly pushed open the door, followed by a sweet and charming voice coming from inside. "Sorry to keep you waiting." Although the process had been quite complicated, in the dim candlelight, he saw the woman wearing a red dress push open the door, still with her wavy curled hair, her face carrying the unique flush of a mature woman as she gently walked out. Seeing her, Lin gave a mental thumbs up. Because compared to her previous disguise, after removing the curse, she had become even more beautifully authentic. Under Lin's gaze, the blood-robed evil spirit sat down opposite him, her face slightly flushed. Unlike before when she was prone to sarcastic and mean remarks, now the blood-robed evil spirit actually looked somewhat like a soft, beautiful housewife from next door. "I'm sorry," she said, bowing her head toward Lin, covering her burning cheeks with a slight blush. "I apologize for my impolite behavior toward you before, and also for having hostile intentions toward you for a while. I feel absolutely ashamed. She's completely like a different person." Lin mentally screamed. It's fine," Lin coughed and said. "Aren't we neighbors? Shouldn't neighbors live together harmoniously and understand each other?" Ding. Blood-robed evil spirits favorability toward you +20. Ding. Blood-robed evil spirits favorability toward you +20. This isn't good. The blood-robed evil spirit's cheeks turned even redder as she said, "Even though you say that, I still feel very guilty in my heart and I never expected you could actually remove the evil spirit curse from my body." Hearing this, Lin immediately seriously raised a finger and said gravely, "I only temporarily cleared your curse. This point you must understand clearly. It's not permanent. The curse clearance duration is about 24 hours. If it's not cleared again after 24 hours, you'll return to your original state." This point, Lin absolutely had to make her understand. As a doctor, honesty is the foundation. Of course, the most important reason was that if he didn't explain clearly beforehand, when she returned to her original state a day later, she might think he had tricked her and then deal with him harshly. The blood-robed evil spirit also froze. Only 24 hours. To be honest, after being freed from the torment of the evil spirit curse, she had felt unprecedented relaxation during this half hour. And just thinking about those 100+ years before, she couldn't help but shudder. So much that she really didn't want to return to her previous appearance at all. Lin nodded seriously. But seeing the blood-robed evil spirit's face about to show disappointment, Lin changed his tone, closing his eyes. "Although that's what I said, I can clear it for you again every 12 hours. So in other words, it's actually not impossible to make it permanent." "Really?" The blood-robed evil spirit's eyes lit up. Ding. Blood-robed evil spirits favorability toward you +20. Ding. Blood-robed evil spirits favorability toward you +20. The blood-robed evil spirit's cheeks turned even redder as she said, "Even though you say that, I still feel very guilty in my heart and I never expected you could actually remove the evil spirit curse from my body. And we're still neighbors, living so close. If you want to maintain your current appearance long-term, you just need to come to me once daily for treatment. And as neighbors, I can even give you a 20% discount. This way it's absolutely perfect. He just needs to use his limited-time curse removal ability daily, which not only keeps him safe from danger, but also provides a stable client and income source. No matter how you think about it, this is a guaranteed profitable business. He's really damn clever. 20% discount." The blood-robed evil spirit propped her chin, smiling as she looked at Lin. Of course, the most important reason was that if he didn't explain clearly beforehand, when she returned to her original state a day later, she might think he had tricked her and then severely punish him. Lin immediately rubbed his shoulders, showing a somewhat weak expression, smiling bitterly. "Madam, to be honest with you, although the curse removal process looks simple, it's actually very energy-consuming. Given our neighborly relationship, I could certainly waive the fee a few times, but subsequent sessions will require payment. After all, we're just a small business." After being freed from the torment of the evil spirit curse, she had felt unprecedented relaxation during this half hour. "Impossible," the blood-robed evil spirit smiled charmingly. What's the price? Or rather, what kind of reward is needed? Lin thought for a moment, smiling as he raised a finger. 1,000 skeleton coins per session, with your 20% discount, 800 skeleton coins. How about it? That's quite a good deal, right? For a high-level evil spirit like this, Lin didn't believe she was truly penniless. After all, beings like the Black Knight Demon Hunter used Black Skull coins, clearly from wealthy backgrounds. But Lin hadn't set the price too high either. Since this was a long-term business that required steady development, you can't be too greedy. However, the blood-robed evil spirit smiled and shook her head, fingers gently twirling her hair tips. I have no money. Lin froze. Madam, you must be joking, Lin said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Someone as powerful as you, how could you possibly have no money? Don't deceive me. The blood-robed evil spirit smiled, propping her chin. Really no money. Because in the past, whenever I wanted something, I'd just eat the other party to save trouble. So I never needed to trade and therefore never had money. Lin felt a chill down his spine. No way, even with favorability already at that level, would she still take action against him? Lin broke out in a cold sweat. No money. Then other things could work too. As long as the price is appropriate, anything can be traded. Really? The blood-robed evil spirit raised her beautiful eyebrows. Lin crossed his arms, closing his eyes. Really? Whether it's body parts, herbs, cursed objects, or corpses, I'll evaluate everything at its proper price. As long as the price. But at that very moment, Lin suddenly felt a wave of fragrance wash over him. His eyes snapped open. Exclamation marks instantly appeared above Lin's head. He saw that somehow, the blood-robed evil spirit had leaned over the table, her nose less than a centimeter from his, lips slightly parted as a provocative fragrant breeze swept over him. Madam, to be honest with you, although the curse removal process looks simple, it's actually very energy-consuming. Given our neighborly relationship, I could certainly waive the fee a few times. But subsequent sessions will require payment. After all, we're just a small business. Chapter 45. Big Sis teaches you how to fight for real. Lin, she gently extended her slender fingers and pulled at the shoulder strap on her shoulder, her fair skin dazzlingly bright. The charm radiating from this mature woman was like poison, firmly gripping your eyes. Lin stared wide-eyed. He instinctively tried to back away to create some distance, but it quickly proved useless as that enchanting face pressed closer. Danger! Lin struggled to calm his mind, saying, Madam, please maintain your dignity. The blood-robed evil spirit moved her red lips, speaking softly and tenderly. Before, didn't you call me sister? Don't you think that address sounds much better? Hiss! A cold breath rushed into Lin's chest. He immediately felt like he had just climbed out of one pit, only to fall straight into another. Lin tried hard to compose himself, speaking firmly. Our shop doesn't accept payment in flesh. The blood-robed evil spirit leaned on the table, bending forward to approach his ear, breathing sweetly as she cooed. Really don't want it? This is a very good body, you know, freshly freed from the curse, not yet tainted by any impurities. Really don't want to? Try playing with it? She gave Lin an enchanting, flirtatious look with a seductive smile. Lin Japanese letter willpower -10. Willpower -10. Lin swore this female ghost was definitely some kind of enchantress skilled at charming people's hearts, for a pure-hearted teenager in his teens. This was simply not an opponent on the same level. Lin sat stiffly, steam practically coming off him. In his arms, the adorable baby he'd been holding looked on curiously, clearly not understanding what was happening. Really, don't want to give it a try? The blood-robed evil spirit continued her seduction. Lin said stiffly, Your baby is watching. The blood-robed evil spirit's lips curled up slightly as she breathed into his ear, whispering softly. We could go to my room. Thump, thump, thump. Lin could hear his heart racing wildly. After all, for a teenager who had crossed over into this mysterious world in his teens, this level of seduction really wasn't something ordinary willpower could withstand. And there was no system danger level warning in his ear. Which meant there was no danger at all. But precisely because there was no danger, it was even harder to maintain composure and rationality. And this was all under the name of payment? Finally, Lin reluctantly gave up, closing his eyes and speaking emptily as if accepting fate. I don't know how. The blood-robed evil spirit was taken aback. Doesn't know how. Which aspect does that refer to? Such a smooth-talking, handsome boy, has he never done happy things with a girl before? Because if this were in the human world, he would absolutely be the type of youth who could easily deceive girls into his hands. The blood-robed evil spirit looked at him strangely. Never been intimate with a girl? Lin kept his eyes closed, not answering. Never even kissed? Lin kept his eyes closed, his temples throbbing madly. Don't tell me you haven't even held hands. Black lines popped up one after another on Lin's head, with grinding teeth sounds audible. Ding, you feel deeply insulted. Seeing Lin's expression of barely concealed embarrassment, the blood-robed evil spirit's lips slowly curled into a strange smile, her eyes suddenly seeming to light up, like a big bad wolf spotting a cute little white rabbit. So that's how it is. She gently licked her lips, whispering playfully in Lin's ear. Then let me teach you bit by bit, Lin. Break line. Ding. Congratulations, host, for unlocking achievement. Wonderful first experience part 1. Host gains 200 basic experience. Wonderful first experience part 1. Stage achievement. Host successfully took the youthful but firm first step from boyhood to manhood. Host gains permanent bonuses. Constitution +1, Stamina +1, Endurance +1. Ding. Blood-robed evil spirit's favorability towards you +50. Ding. Blood-robed evil spirit's attitude towards you has changed from indifferent to favorable. You gained basic experience +400. Lin, a whoosh, the soul lamp at the door lit up, signaling the arrival of a new day. Lin buttoned his clothes one button at a time, forcibly maintaining a calm expression on his face, but his tightly closed, wildly twitching eyes betrayed his unsettled heart. Sure enough, still couldn't resist. As for how those few hours passed, Lin felt it better not to mention, otherwise it might not be suitable for children. Remember to wait for sister tomorrow night. Sister still needs you to come to the shop for proper treatment. A charming voice reached his ears. Lin didn't even dare look back, afraid that if he saw those mature, captivating eyes again, his hard-won recovered composure would be stolen away by her once more. Well, I should head back now. Lin coughed. That voice whispered softly in his ear. You helped sister remove the curse. Sister will teach you new knowledge, definitely. More impressive than before. Lin fled as if escaping. Behind him came the woman's charming, bell-like laughter. Watching Lin's retreating figure, the blood-robed evil spirit hugged her chest, gracefully brushing her wavy hair, a smile on her face. Then she magically produced a mirror like a trick, gazing at her reflection in the mirror, staring dazedly once more, lost in the joy and excitement of being freed from the curse. Ding, you excellently completed the mission. Blood Banquet. You received rewards. Skeleton coins 1000, basic experience 500, special reward, Blood Demon's Cloak. Blood Demon's Cloak. Quality, rare trait. After use, can conceal your aura and pass through physical objects like a ghost. Introduction. Formless, quality-less evil spirits always become the fear in people's hearts, so the abyss monsters created this cloak, allowing you to become like an evil spirit, formless and qualityless, but be careful, when you wear it, you lose all offensive capabilities. Ding, you leveled up, please allocate your attribute points. On the road, Lin quickly opened his attribute panel. Lin, level, 9 race, human, strength, 31 agility, 32 intelligence, 35 constitution, 44 assignable points, 16 fame, 64 introduction. The mentally twisted, perverted apprentice of Bloodsaw Potion Shop, beneath a pure appearance hides a heart that spreads fear, has already caused massive psychological shadows for multiple customers, and instigated 2 high-level beings into harmful drug use, though has some reputation among root monsters, still struggles to change his wicked behavior of deceiving decent women and forcing payment in flesh. Lin, what the hell is this messy introduction? How am I mentally twisted perverted? How am I spreading fear? And what's this about deceiving decent women and forcing payment in flesh? Clearly my first time was dangerously taken from me. I was seduced. And how can the blood-robed evil spirit be called a decent woman? Then wouldn't I be as pure as a harmless little lamb? Lin, with a dark expression, after venting, still followed convention and put all attribute points into constitution, although other aspects each have advantages. But no matter what, durability is the best advantage in this dark world. And after constitution becomes strong, Other abilities also receive hidden improvements, like stamina, endurance, even the force of punches noticeably becomes stronger than during weak constitution times. And he has now reached level 9, which means just one more level, and he'll meet the system's job change requirements. Chapter 46, he was just too rough. And who knows what kind of class change mission would trigger at that time. Lin quickly carried the lamp and walked toward the potion shop. He still didn't dare to stay outside for long now. Although he had become much stronger than before, who knew what kind of monster might suddenly emerge from this black fog to drag you into the darkness? He was still far too weak. Fortunately, though, he didn't encounter anything nasty along the way. Arriving at the shop entrance, the lit soul lamp emitted a faint glow, and there were no signs of anyone having visited the shop. So did something happen to my teacher? Lin wondered, sitting at the counter and tapping on the table. After his teacher hurriedly left, he said he would return within 2 days, but now it was already the 3rd day with no sign of his teacher. Lin couldn't help but suspect something strange was going on, probably just delayed by something. Lin's gaze remained calm. He tapped the table and decided to first explore the site. For a while. Yesterday, the incident with the blood-robed evil spirit had interrupted his exploration progress. Today, he really needed to properly investigate. Enter. Skeleton coins -500, accompanied by an intense wave of nausea. Lin's eyes snapped open, and before him once again appeared that massive plaza, along with the gigantic eyeball floating above it. He had returned to the site. Let's first see what they're chatting about. Lin quickly opened the regional channel, hoping to gather some information. Regional channel, blood doll. Queen, how did things go? Did that human apprentice die horribly? Is his head already twisted off to serve as a chamber pot? Burned ghost. At Queen. Please give us details, we're all very eager to hear about the process. Long hair ghost. Withdrawing into my selfing, skeleton demon. Queen, are you there? That bold fellow who dared bully your daughter, has he been decisively dealt with? Evil spirit queen. A blood doll. Excited queen, you appeared, so? Did that guy receive the punishment he deserved? Evil spirit queen. Well, shy he made me feel really good. Buzz. Instantly, the regional channel fell into complete silence. Then countless began flooding the screen. Blood doll. Burned ghost. Dazed wah, what felt really good? Evil spirit queen. Yesterday I was too irritable, blushing. He truly is a very capable doctor. I shouldn't have treated him with such rude attitude, but I didn't go back on my word either. Since I said I would eat him, I definitely ate him, just in a different way than expected. Shy, everyone. Evil spirit queen. Enough talking. He was just too rough. I need to go get some proper sleep now. Goodbye. Everyone. What do you mean a bit swollen and sore? Explain clearly. And what other way are you talking about? Why does it feel like some strange, indescribable things happened at the Queen's place last night? Burned ghost. Queen, please explain more clearly. What exactly happened with that guy? Queen, skeleton demon. Dazed, you must be joking. This has to be a joke. Could it be that human boy not only didn't die, but actually managed to conquer the mighty evil spirit queen? Snap. Lin shut the regional channel at an unimaginable speed, his eyes wide, cold sweat pouring down like heavy rain. No, I didn't. Don't make wild guesses. That female evil spirit is way too open. Why does she just casually say whatever comes to mind? Lin vigorously shook his head. Although they did play some flirtatious games at night, they absolutely didn't reach the passionate stage. Definitely not. Although they did play some flirtatious games at night, they absolutely didn't reach the passionate stage. Definitely not. Closed the regional channel, decided to stop thinking about those strange matters. Lin began carefully exploring the site's other functions. After all, the site might become another development direction for him in the future. If he could open something like a modern online shop, that would be perfect. Soon. It didn't take long for Lin to roughly figure out some of the site's basic functions. And the more he understood, the more he suspected whether that so-called supreme might actually come from the same place as him, because many elements were just too similar to online games. First, within the site, all creatures can publish information externally. You can charge fees, but when posting information, you need to pay a portion of skeleton coins as handling fee. You can publish within your current region, or choose to publish across the entire site or larger regions, but this requires corresponding permissions and higher fees. Besides the regional channel, corresponding to each plaza, there are also larger-scale realm channels, and the largest public world channel. Exactly, it was precisely because of the words world channel. That made Lin highly suspicious about this site's nature. Because the style just didn't match. You can consume a portion of skeleton coins to register your own shop and identity in the site's specialized areas, but this costs 1 black skull coin per day. That's right, a full 1,000 skeleton coins per day. Besides conducting transactions within the site, you can also accept tasks published by various creatures in specific areas, earning skeleton coins as rewards. One could say, this site almost forms its own independent economic system. If not for the fact that most beings moving through here were dark creatures, he might have thought he had logged into some massive online game. And 6. This was the point that captured Lin's attention the most. Within the site, there was also a place called Contract Domain. That differed from other areas. According to the introduction, this area collected prayers and offerings from various surface worlds, transmitting them in real time to the dark world. As long as conditions were met, you could form a temporary contract with a surface world creature, allowing you to descend to that surface creature's world in the form of demon summoning. After completing the contract, you would receive the offerings sacrificed by that surface creature. If that's the case, Lin pondered, could there be prayers from Earth? If so, could this be my way home? This was truly something that stirred his heart. Because for a teenager in his teens, being away from home for 2 years, and in such a dark world at that, anyone who said they didn't miss home would be lying. But Lin wasn't in a hurry, he still had other matters to attend to first. Teleport trading area? Lin clicked on the rune in his hand, and in the very next moment, a blue glowing hexagram magic circle appeared beneath his feet, and his figure instantly vanished from the spot. Sin City High-Grade Weapon Shop. Selling obsidian stone greatshield, suitable for humanoid creatures. Price: 11 black skull coins, focus vision to teleport. Beholder Machinery Shop. Providing limb regeneration services, selling high-grade magic energy cores, price negotiable, focus vision to teleport. Cyclops Slave Shop. Selling Fox Girl. Zone from Violet World, fair-skinned and beautiful, mentally controllable, trainable and keepable. Price: 5 black skull coins, focus vision to teleport. Chapter 47, I Love Luo. As soon as he appeared in the trading area, countless flashing advertisements instantly filled Lin's field of vision. Lin's mouth twitched, because this was absolutely ridiculous beyond belief. It was exactly like opening a web page and getting bombarded with hundreds of pop-up ads at once, a complete information overload. But Lin didn't pay it much mind. After arriving at the trading area, new functions had appeared in the runes on his wrist. Shop teleportation. Input the corresponding code and name to directly teleport into a shop space. Shop creation. Consume 10,000 skeleton coins to open your own shop. Formula trading. Go to the specific high-value items trading area for auction and purchasing services, without another word. Lin directly clicked shop creation. He already had over 30,000 skeleton coins on him, enough to definitely create his own shop within the site. After inputting Bloodsaw Potion Shop and the address of Wandering Souls Alley, Lin clicked Submit. But the next moment, a duplicate information notification appeared before his eyes. Lin pondered. Could it be that teacher already created a shop with the same name in the site? That was certainly possible. After all, his teacher was a native dark creature who had obviously been able to access the site. Very early on, there was no way he wouldn't know about this place. Teleport. Bloodsaw Potion Shop? Without another word, Lin directly input the corresponding name and clicked teleport, with a series of blue flashes. Lin's eyes snapped open to find himself in a narrow independent space that looked less than 50 square meters. Above the shop before him were several large characters written prominently. Bloodsaw Potion Shop. And Lin immediately recognized the iconic Bloodsaw symbol beside the potion shop. That's right. This was definitely his teacher's potion shop, because that Bloodsaw emblem was his teacher's exclusive symbol. Lin looked up at the completely empty shopfront and instinctively reached out to push the door. Instantly, A line of blood-red text appeared before his eyes. No authorization detected. Please input shop command. Command? Lin thoughtfully rubbed his chin and muttered to himself. So you can set passwords too, but since it's teacher's shop, he probably wouldn't mind if I went in. After some consideration, Lin decided to give it a try. Though he didn't know his teacher particularly well, after spending day and night together, he had picked up on some habits. Muscular hunk. Command error, access denied. Single for 200 years. Command error, access denied. My disciple is the cutest. Command error, access denied. Lin straightened his face, thought for a moment, then said with dead fish eyes, I love lolies. Command correct, access granted. Click, the shop door before him slowly opened. Lin, as expected, he used that wicked preference as the command, exactly like the safe combination. Lin smoothly stepped into the shop. After entering, Lin confirmed that this so-called site was indeed far superior to those so-called virtual worlds, because you could bring real-world items into this dimension. This was absolutely cutting-edge black technology of the highest order. However, the shop didn't contain anything particularly rare, and the stored potions weren't much different from the inventory in the physical shop. Clearly, his teacher didn't place much importance on this shop located within the site, but that made sense. Each entry and exit cost 500 skeleton coins and required site stones that were obviously consumables. Any ordinary creature opening a shop here would definitely be operating at a loss, but it looks like it's been regularly maintained. Lin opened the shop interface. He discovered the shop actually had 4,000 skeleton coins stored for daily operational deductions. What surprised Lin was that the site shop even had logs that could be checked. Lin browsed through them. Day 90, sold complete set of adult Cursimorner organs, income 5 Black Skull coins. Day 93, sold Hell Connective Demon Head Zone, income 1 Black Skull coin. Day 95, rest day. Day 97, sold Soul Devouring Eyeballs Extuo, income 2 Black Skull coins. Reading through the logs, Lin's eyes widened in astonishment. Teacher really does enjoy having side businesses. Because Lin clearly remembered. Around those time periods in the logs, when his teacher returned from his outings, he indeed carried blood-stained sacks each time before heading straight to the operating room, where Lin often heard chopping sounds coming from inside. So the potion shop was just the surface front. His teacher's real income source was selling these monster organs. Lin gasped sharply. But this also gave him a sense of his teacher's power, as the monsters mentioned in the logs sounded extremely powerful just from their names. Lin continued scrolling through the logs. And the next moment, Lin's gaze focused on a recent entry. Day 105. An old friend from the Demonkin Association found me, inviting me to the Hanged Man Tower to investigate some strange recent occurrences within the association. I've been out of the Demonkin Association for 10 years. Coming to me now seems rather peculiar. Lin checked the time. This log was edited 3 days ago. It seemed this was likely the reason his teacher left 2 days ago. Hanged Man Tower? Demonkin Association? Lin pondered. Clearly, this should be an organization within the dark world, and his teacher was once a member. But he didn't know much about it, as his teacher had no reason to share more with him, being just a well-behaved apprentice. Lin shook his head, but since it was an old friend's invitation, teacher probably won't encounter any trouble. Lin closed his eyes. Soon, he put these matters aside, because the most important thing for him right now was making money, promoting, and building recognition. Since he had a broader platform like the site, he absolutely needed to leverage his advantages as a transmigrator. He quickly left the site, logged off. Rushing straight to the backyard, Lin swiftly gathered all the materials needed for potion brewing, if he wanted to develop within the site. The most important thing was having enough quality products to offer. Both his critical hit potion and flesh proliferation potion were unique premium formulas obtained from the system, and the critical hit potion had already been verified as an excellent combat-enhancing potion. He absolutely believed. These 2 potions would definitely have a huge market in the site: Primordial Biological Tissue Zone, Explosive Fruit Pulp Zone, Infernal Clover X4, Black Bat Wing Zone, etc. He roughly listed out the critical hit potion materials. The other materials were relatively common. But for primordial biological tissue, he only had some tooth fragments left behind by the headhunter. After his previous brewing session, he had enough left for about 30 bottles. For mass production, he'd clearly need more sources. But for now, it was definitely enough. Without another word, Lin immediately took the materials to the alchemy room and began brewing critical hit potions. Bubble, bubble, light the fire, heat the cauldron, begin brewing. Ding, you brewed critical hit potion zone. Ding, you brewed critical hit potion zone. Ding, you brewed critical hit potion zone, with the system's notifications. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye, and he now held 30 bottles of piss-yellow, blood-red potions in his hands. Chapter 48, UC Shock-Style Headlines. Quickly sealing the potions, Lin smiled and spent another 500 skeleton coins to teleport into the site. Everything was complete. Now the most important thing was to sell the potions in his hands, slightly more expensive, selling at 3,000 skeleton coins per bottle. He believed that once someone used his potions, they would definitely become repeat customers. Now the most crucial thing was promotion. Without another word, Lin directly tapped the rune on his wrist and began editing the content for information sharing. Bloodsaw Potion Shop. Extremely powerful critical hit potions now available. After consumption, it greatly increases attack strength. 3,000 skeleton coins per bottle, limited to 30 bottles, fair prices, first come, first served. Only available here, no other branches. Come quickly and grab them. Click skeleton coins -1,000. Information sharing successful? Lin smiled, feeling somewhat eager as he quickly switched to the trading channel. Looking at the shared information, Lin had a premonition that countless customers would soon be flooding through his doors. Half an hour later, Lin sat behind the counter, eyes closed, with a slight curve on his lips, glancing at the completely empty area outside his shop. Normal. Maybe the promotion effects haven't manifested yet. It's only been half an hour. Wait a bit longer, customers will come soon. Could also spend another 1,000 skeleton coins for more promotion. 2 hours later. Lin frowned deeply, arms crossed, pacing back and forth incessantly in front of the shop entrance. How could there not be a single person? He'd already placed 3 advertisements. There shouldn't be 0 people interested enough to click through. Don't rush, can wait a bit more. Haste makes waste. Right, keep going. 3 hours later. Lin stood stiffly behind the counter, cobwebs gathering on his head, expression completely blank. He had spent a full 5,000 skeleton coins, continuously pushing 5 advertisements. Could it really be that not a single person was willing to click through? Money was flowing out like water. Slap, Lin, furious expression, slammed the table. This is you forcing my hand? I originally didn't want to use this, but it seems I have no choice. Lin gritted his teeth, angry expression, as he pulled up the information sharing interface and quickly edited the following message. Shocking, the secret to making tough guys thicker and stronger. Top Demon Hunter passionately shares critical hit potions that make succubi blush and queens cry out uncontrollably. 1 bottle tears clothes. 2 bottles send you to heaven. 3 bottles make you powerful like a bulldozer. Want to become a truly pillar-like real man? Click now, Bloodsaw Potion Shop. Slap, click promote, not done yet, damn. Lin, furious expression, quickly burst into maximum typing speed, continuously posting over a dozen anonymous messages in the trading channel at 100 skeleton coins each. Wow, Bloodsaw Potion Shop's critical hit potions are really amazing. After giving one to my boyfriend, just 1 bottle made me completely unable to handle him. No way. How can such a treasure-level potion shop be casually shared? And it only costs 3,000 skeleton coins per bottle. Wow, so cheap, what if someone buys them all up? Stop sharing, be careful the potions might increase in price. Angry expression, isn't it better to keep it secret? Let yourself quietly become stronger, more powerful, more thick and strong. Isn't that just perfect? Is this potion really that powerful? No, not powerful at all. After taking it, it just casually doubles combat power. Every time you attack, you can land perfect critical hits. It's really not powerful at all. But can it really tear clothes? Not only can it tear clothes, both places that should burst and places that shouldn't, this potion can make everything burst. Otherwise, how could it be called critical hit potion? Slap, Lin gritted his teeth and put down his hands that had bin single for 17 years. After this series of information bombardment, the trading channel actually fell into brief silence. Black dots flew over Lin's head, but just at that moment, a sudden change occurred. Outside the shop door, swish, 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 dense transmission lights appeared that could dazzle one's eyes, countless of them. And Lin's ears were filled with numerous notifications. Dark Giant Rebold, requesting shop entry. Fallen Minotaur, requesting shop entry. Succubus Alea, requesting shop entry. Multi-armed Demon, requesting shop entry. Without another word, Lin directly selected Allow All. Instantly, countless phantom figures overlapped and flooded through the door like a tidal wave. The entire small shop instantly became packed 3 layers deep inside and out, with at least a dozen phantom figures squeezed into every available space. Every phantom figure had shining eyes, speaking with extreme excitement. "Boss, is everything in your information true? Does your shop really sell that miraculous potion? Are there really top-grade potions that can make you super powerful after taking them, that can make our queen cry out uncontrollably? I want 10 critical hit potions. Boss, I want them now. Is it really recommended by a top demon hunter? Boss, give me 50 bottles, I want to test the effects. Everyone get out, I came in first. Boss, give me 1 bottle," shouting. Angry expression, "How dare you? Obviously I came in first. Boss, I'll take all the potions." Boss, do you accept payment in flesh? I can come to you, I'm a very good succubus." Instantly, the previously ignored potion shop was suddenly packed full with countless perverts hiding in the dark world. Lin, deadpan expression. "Indeed, exactly the same as on Earth. If you don't use some exciting content, nobody is willing to patronize you. But obviously, this place is still pure land. The customers are all excited and pure, not looking down on this low-level promotion method like those people on Earth. This is really quite troublesome." Lin pretended to be troubled, showing a difficult expression. "Everyone, although our shop's potions are genuine, we've always operated on a small scale with limited inventory. Currently, we only have 30 bottles of critical hit potions, and 10 of them are already reserved by regular customers. This really puts me in a difficult position." Lin looked extremely troubled. Seeing Lin's troubled expression, the swarming customers immediately exploded. Angry expression, "Damn, boss, what are you troubled about? 4,000 skeleton coins per bottle. I'll take them all. If you're troubled, I'll add another 500 coins per bottle. I have plenty of money." "Damn, angry expression, you think only you have money? Boss, 5,000 per bottle. Give me 30 bottles to start, if the effect is good. I'll patronize you double in the future. 5,000? So petty, I'll pay 6,000. 7,000. 75,000, seeing the situation getting out of control. Lin quickly stretched out his hand, advising, "Everyone, don't fight. Although our shop's potions are indeed excellent, everyone should shop rationally. Don't spend recklessly. Money isn't easy to earn. Payment over there, direct transfer is fine." Chapter 49. They went bald too. Ding, you received 10,000 skeleton coins. Ding, you triggered achievement. All potion sellers are equally ruthless. You gained 500 basic experience. All potion sellers are equally ruthless. Special achievement, obtained by earning over 300,000 skeleton coins from selling the same type of potion in one transaction. You gain permanent bonuses. Income from potion sales increased by 1%, intelligence +1, eloquence +1. Inside the shop, Lin sat amidst piles of coins with a conflicted expression, counting skeleton coins one by one. "My conscience can't handle this, my conscience just can't handle it. But I swear I didn't deceive consumers. If combat effectiveness can be doubled, then surely all aspects of combat capability should experience exponential improvement. Our Bloodsaw Potion shop's reputation is absolutely top tier. If anyone experiences hair loss issues, I'll develop another batch of hair growth potions tomorrow, definitely affordable." Meanwhile, on a plain somewhere in the dark world, row after row of fully armed dark elves stood in formation, their gazes serious as they stared into the black mist ahead. The leading dark elf looked grave, gripping his spear tightly, ready for battle at any moment. This was the 5th day of their Elf King's court defense against the abyssal insect horde, and the crucial moment that would determine victory. If their battalion could successfully withstand this fierce counterattack from the insect swarm, they could hold out until reinforcements arrived. Faint roars continuously echoed from within the darkness. Vague glimpses of pairs of crimson eyes could be seen flickering in the dark. "Has our supplies not arrived yet?" The elf captain turned his head, frowning as he looked at his subordinate behind him. Their current situation was extremely critical. All supply routes had been completely severed, leaving the sight dimension as their only remaining means of transportation. But their supply of sight stones was nearly exhausted. If they couldn't withstand this insect swarm assault, their defensive line would be completely breached by tomorrow. "Captain!" A dark elf rushed over from the distance, stopping breathlessly before him, panting. "I've established contact with the king's court through the sight dimension. The court has emergency delivered some supplies, but sight transmission has limitations. Only about 100 combat potions emergency purchased by the court have come through initially. I hope they can help us." He quickly placed the box he was carrying on the ground, opening the lid. Inside were neatly arranged rows upon rows of various types of compound potions. Half are emergency healing potions, 2/3 are auxiliary strength potions, and the remaining third are several bottles of advanced combat potions that the court's supply officers emergency purchased. He picked up a bottle of poop yellow and bloody red potion, solemnly handing it to the captain. "Captain, here!" The elf captain frowned, grabbing the potion and looking at the turbid, nauseating liquid inside, saying, "What kind of potion is this? It looks like urine." The elf said seriously. "The supply pressure on all battalions is too great. The court's inventory is nearly depleted, so the newly purchased potions are of varying quality. But reportedly, this potion can nearly double the user's combat effectiveness, extremely potent." Double. Upon hearing this, all the surrounding dark elves showed astonished expressions. They knew very well that potions capable of greatly increasing combat power in short periods were usually priceless and rare on the market. Potions that could double effectiveness were ace-level potions that could save lives at critical moments. But similarly, the side effects of such potions were also extremely severe. Some potions could leave users extremely weakened for many days after consumption. Regardless, such potions remained incredibly useful. Any side effects? They knew very well that potions capable of greatly increasing combat power in short periods were usually priceless and rare on the market. Potions that could double effectiveness were ace-level potions that could save lives at critical moments. How many bottles of this potion were delivered? 5 bottles. The elf captain's gaze turned grave as he said heavily, "Distribute the potions. If they can truly double combat effectiveness in a short time, I'm confident we can defeat that aberration." As long as they could crush that broodmother, the crisis on their defensive line could be greatly alleviated. Just at that moment, sharp roars suddenly echoed from within the darkness. The next moment, the black mist surged as countless giant crawlers madly emerged from beneath the ground, their foul-smelling mouthparts emitting terrifying screeches in their direction. In the distance, a massive broodmother of enormous size suddenly appeared within their field of vision. "They're coming!" The elf captain suddenly looked up, roaring, "Prepare defenses!" The insect swarm launched their assault like a tidal wave. The captain charged ahead instantly into the insect swarm, brandishing his spear, viciously tearing one crawler after another into pieces. His gaze immediately locked onto the massive aberration, commanding the insect swarm deep within the horde. His eyes sharpened. If this potion could truly double combat effectiveness, then he was absolutely confident he could slay that troublesome aberration right from amidst 10,000 enemies. Pop, he twisted open the stopper. Gritting his teeth, he downed the entire bottle of potion in one gulp, and in that very instant, he suddenly felt an indescribable torrent of heat surge through his entire body from his stomach. His pupils instantly dilated. This power, his eyes showed shocked expression. He felt his power rapidly increasing, as if all the blood in his body was boiling. The potion acted like some potent catalyst, massively amplifying his strength in an instant, and in the very next moment, he roared toward the sky. His entire suit of armor instantly exploded apart. Under the astonished gazes of all the fighting elves, their captain revealed his explosive, well-defined muscles, his rock-hard muscles pulsating with pounding beats. "Captain," they were both shocked and overjoyed, because they could instantly sense it too. Their captain's aura seemed to have grown tremendously stronger all at once. He suddenly felt an indescribable torrent of heat sweep through his entire body from his stomach. Their captain's beautiful, raven-black long hair also exploded outward along with the armor, instantly revealing his shiny, gleaming scalp. Ding! A flash of light burst forth from their captain's smooth, rounded forehead, flashing across everyone's pupils present. The elves, so shiny, why did the hair explode too? And almost simultaneously. Boom! The same explosion sounds instantly echoed again from the distance. Under the astonished gazes of all the fighting elves, their captain revealed his explosive, well-defined muscles, his rock-hard muscles pulsating with pounding beats. They exploded out of their clothes too. Their hair explosively burst outward from their pulsating, well-defined muscles. 5 or 6 flashes of light ding-ding-ding made them the most dazzling figures on the entire battlefield. They went bald too.